How are you? Good.
I'm coming to the meeting.
Okay.
All right, the meeting of the Cannabis Control Board of the City of Jersey City held Monday, January 23rd, 2023 at 5 p.m. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting was provided by mail and or fax to the Jersey Journal and the Reporter. We do have a new member that I would like to swear in with the board's permission. If you would kindly stand and raise
No,
your
just
right
Jose.
hand. I have to read this too. I
Take
state
a
your name,
picture.
I, Jose Cantarero,
do solemnly
give me an
swear
up,
or
Stacy.
affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of invasion,
and I will also faithfully
and I will also faithfully
uphold the code and local laws of the City of New Jersey
uphold the local laws and code of the State of New Jersey
as a Commissioner of the Cannabis Control Board.
as a commissioner of the Cannabis Control Board.
Welcome on board, and the salary's huge.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You get a free joint at the end of the night.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, with the board's permission, at this juncture, I am opening the floor.
Stacy.
Oh, sorry.
It just occurred to me, I've never been sworn in.
No, you were sworn in the first day that you were here.
No.
And
We
you,
in the back room there?
The back room.
That's all right.
We all stood together.
Yep,
Okay,
that works. Yeah,
just want to make sure.
thank you. Appreciate that. So at this juncture, I am going to be opening the floor for nominations of chairperson to the Cannabis Control Board.
So I'll nominate Brittany because she's been doing it. I feel like we can just keep moving forward.
Fair enough. Any other nominations? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll close the nominations, and I'll ask for a roll call.
Chairperson Bunny,
yes.
Vice Chair Kaplowitz, Commissioner Sloan. Co-
This is
Chairperson.
for Brittany as chairperson of the Cannabis Control Board.
Commissioner Flanagan,
Yes.
Commissioner Cantarero.
Aye. Yes.
Motion
Oh, you gotta
carries.
turn your mic on, Jose.
The motion carries, and welcome back for another year.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to open up the floor for nominations of vice chairman for the Cannabis Control Board.
I'm going to nominate Jose Cantarero.
Any other nominations on the floor? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll close the nominations for vice chair, and I would kindly ask for a roll call.
Chairperson Bunny,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kaplowitz,
Why not? Sure.
Commissioner Sloan, Commissioner Flanagan, Commissioner Cantarero.
You should sit over here,
Motion
next
carries.
to the chair.
Did you want to thank Glenda?
Yeah, before we get started, I want to thank Glenda Sally Perkins for her service to the board. I want to welcome Jose Cantarero. And with that, we're going to get started. Jose is going to read what the CCB is and what our duties are.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me move over.
Take your time. Thanks. And then we'll move into resolution. Go ahead, there's plenty of air.
I'm reading up to here, right?
No, you're reading the whole, so we read the whole thing every time, just to be
Okay.
explicitly clear.
Sounds good to
Except
me.
for this. You don't read adjournment policy, you just read the rest of it.
All right, so the Cannabis Control Board was created by the Jersey City Municipal Council. The CCB is a result of the council adopting an ordinance. We are not the planning board or the zoning board. Those boards were created by state legislation. The Jersey City Planning Board or the Zoning Board will hear your application as to zoning and land use development issues. According to Ordinance 22-003, the CCB will consider the following factors in its determination to approve or deny your application. 1 is community impact and outreach input. 2 is the number of cannabis establishments within close proximity less than 1,000 feet to the applicant. Just because a cannabis establishment is less than 1,000 feet from your application is not necessarily a negative factor. Each application must be evaluated on the totality of factors in the surrounding neighborhood. 3, hiring practices employed by the applicant. 4, residency of all applicants and owners. 5, applicant's commitment to diversity and inclusion best practices. 6, safety and security plans. If the board approves the application, the board will issue a preliminary resolution of support. Once the applicant obtains state approval, the applicant must return to the CCB for final approval. The CCB shall provide final written approval or rejection within 60 days. An applicant could obtain preliminary approval from the CCB, obtain state approval, but denied final CCB approval. The CCB will ensure compliance with local rules and regulations governing cannabis. Jersey City encourages and promotes participation of minorities, women, and disabled veterans, own cannabis businesses, and by extension, so shall the CCB. The CCB shall require a Class 5 cannabis retail business applicant to address concerns about the proximity of a proposed location to a substance abuse treatment center or a daycare center.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
With the board's permission, can we now move into resolutions?
Yes.
All right, the first resolution before the board is in the matter of Locomotive LLC. It's my understanding that there may be either an attorney or an applicant that wishes to comment before we memorialize this resolution. You would be limited to 3 minutes, and now would be the time. Are you going to time that for me?
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Please enter your appearance into the record.
Good evening. It's nice to see everyone again. Frank Vitolo, law firm of Sills, Cummins & Gross. I represent FLWR LLC, formerly known as Oceanfront, which you probably recall from earlier last year. My client has obtained approval to operate a medical and adult recreational cannabis facility at 141 Newark Avenue, which is in close proximity to the Locomotive site. I make this appearance this evening to place certain matters on the record, should there be, down the line, any issue raised regarding the operation of 2 facilities in close proximity. FLWR received planning board approval on April 26, 2022. It received approval from this board on July 25th, 2022. The council approved the application on September 8th, 2022. Building permits were issued on January 9th, 2023. FLWR intends to open its doors for medical use on or about April 1st, 2023, and for adult use about 3 months later. We only object to this application to the extent that Locomotive or the city tries to limit FLWR's use of its adult use license because of its proximity to Locomotive site. Currently, there is construction ongoing on the site, including electrical and framing. I should have mentioned that, sorry, with my other remarks. If, as approved, FLWR is allowed to proceed with operation of a medical and adult use dispensary at 141 Newark Avenue without influence or interference from Locomotive or the city, then we take no position on this application before you this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vitolo. Nice to see you again. Anyone else? You'll be limited to 3 minutes. Please state your name, spell your last name.
Hello, my name is Brian Markey. That's BrianMarkey. I am representing myself, Garden Greens. We're located at 190 Newark Avenue. We are a New Jersey State certified minority-owned business, a micro business, and we have a New Jersey State Class 5 conditional license that was issued on 9/12/22. A Jersey City Cannabis Control Board approval on 8/8/22, and most importantly, a resolution for municipal support letter from the Jersey City Council on 10/26/2022. Jersey City Ordinance 21-053, or the separation distances between cannabis establishments. 21-053 is the ordinance for cannabis businesses to comply with. Section C says the main entry door of any cannabis establishment subject to a Class 5 license, including microbusinesses, shall be separated from one another by a distance of at least 600 feet. That's in black and white. That's law. Now, what I did is I hired Cofield and Associates LLP, who are licensed professional land surveyors, license number 37579. They measured the distance between 190 Newark Avenue, which is Garden Green's home, and 155 Newark Avenue, and their determination was 528.96 feet, which means they are non-compliant with the separation distances between cannabis establishments. That is law. The Cannabis Control Board is the governing body of 21-053, which is the cannabis ordinance. It is law. Thank you very much. And I just want to put on the record that this is against the location for this cannabis business. I know I have anything against any persons or persons involved in an application. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, seeing none. Can I, go ahead.
So the board's not going to comment because there is pending litigation, and we have no say in this. We were ordered to issue a resolution by Judge Tarula. So if you have concerns, your best place to go would be to the city council, because that's the next agenda that that application will be on. This board, there's nothing we can do at this point. So I would take your concerns there.
1,000% correct, and I would ask the rest of the board members to be very careful and circumscribe any comments that they may have, but this is ordered by Judge Tarula, and we need to go forward. So I'm asking, I did circulate this resolution. I'm asking for a motion followed by a second to memorialize the approval of the Locomotive LLC at 155 Newark Avenue.
Motion to accept.
And I'll
To
second.
approve.
All right. Chairperson Bunny,
Yes.
Commissioner Kapowitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Flanagan,
Yes.
and Commissioner Sloan.
Yes.
All right, the motion carries. Thank you very much. The next resolution is Top of the Pot Dispensary at 107 West Side Avenue. I did circulate a proposed resolution. I'd ask for any questions, comments, or modifications you may have at this point. Hearing none, seeing none, I'd ask for a motion followed by a second to memorialize or adopt this resolution.
Motion to accept.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. My understanding is that the chair had recused herself on this application, so it would be Commissioner Kaplowitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Flanagan,
Yes.
and Commissioner Sloan.
Yes.
All right. The resolution is now memorialized. You can sign these. The next one is in the matter of Treehouse Ventures LLC at 495-497 Communipaw Avenue. Again, this resolution was circulated to the board, and I would ask for a motion to adopt or memorialize this resolution.
Motion to accept.
All right, is
Second.
there a second? I'm sorry, who seconded that? Thank you. All right, Chairperson Bunny.
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Kaplowitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Flanagan?
Yes.
And Commissioner Sloan?
Beth has to sign that one.
You can sign that. All right, that resolution now carries. Sorry. The next resolution is Greener on Grove, 608 Grove Street. Again, this resolution was circulated to the board. Entertain any questions, comments, changes? Hearing none, seeing none. I'd ask for a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, Chairperson Bunny,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplowitz.
Yes.
Commissioner Flanagan,
Yes.
and Commissioner Sloan.
Yes.
All right, The resolution is now adopted. In the matter of the application of Neon Heights at 535 Newark Avenue, this resolution was circulated to the board. I'll entertain any questions or comments the board members may have. Seeing none, hearing none, I'd ask for a motion followed by a second.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Chairperson Bunny,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplowitz,
Aye.
Commissioner Flanagan,
Yes.
Commissioner Sloan.
Yes.
Motion carries. This resolution is now memorialized. And finally, Legacy to Lifted at 490 West Side Avenue. This resolution was indeed circulated to the board. It asks at this point any questions, comments, changes. Hearing none, seeing none. I'd ask for a motion followed by a second to memorialize.
Motion to accept.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. You abstained from this. Commissioner Kaplowitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Flanagan,
Yes.
and Commissioner Sloan.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. That would be the conclusion of the resolutions, Madam Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So the first application before us is CCB 23 dash, I'm sorry.
What about strictly CBD?
Oh, thank you. I
he-
can't have anything to
yeah,
do with that, but
okay,
if you
so-
guys could,
Do you have it? Okay.
let the record reflect that I am recused from that application. So we'll now move into CCB 23-39 JC Element LLC at 365 Central Avenue for a Class 5 retail. Welcome, Counselor. When you have a chance, get situated there and seated. Please enter your appearance into the record.
Good evening, John Collins from the Office of John Collins on behalf of JC Element.
All right, so that was John Collins, correct?
That's correct. To my immediate left, Mr. Rafael Corona, and to his left, Mr. Kishan Patel.
All right, why don't you spend 30 seconds or more, Mr. Collins, just outlining what this application is about and who your witnesses are to testify this evening.
I'm here on behalf of JC Element LLC, 365 Central Avenue. It's a Class 5 retail microbusiness license. They are a social equity applicant. They have conditional state approval. As I said, the address for the business will be 365 Central Avenue. To my left, I have Mr. Rafael Corona, who is the primary partner and shareholder. To his left is his partner, Mr. Kishan Patel. They're both lifelong Jersey City residents. It is a minority-owned business. It is a 100% minority-owned business, and I can leave them to speak on their behalf. They do it better than I do.
All right, so who is your first witness?
Mr. Rafael Corona.
Good evening, sir. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You can put your hand down. Please state your name.
My name is Rafael Corona. Last name is Corona.
And your address, please.
110 Lincoln Street,
Your
Jersey
witness,
City, New Jersey.
Your witness counselor.
Mr. Corona, can you, you are a Class 5 applicant for this license, correct?
Yes.
And you are a minority business owner, correct?
Yes.
And you have conditional state approval from the state of New Jersey for this business, correct?
Yes.
You prepared a statement that you would like to read into the record. Why don't you go ahead and read that, please?
I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Yeah.
We don't bite.
I'm not a public speaker. Hello and good evening, all. I want to thank you all for volunteering your time to be here today. I know you guys don't know me, so I will give you a brief history of who I am. My name is Rafael Corona. I've been a lifelong resident of Jersey City, just like my mother, who migrated from Puerto Rico back in 1965 when she was 12 years old.
Take your time.
Sorry. I am one of my mother's only surviving sons. I was the youngest of all my brothers.
It's all right, take your time.
I was born at Christ Hospital, went to 25 school, 28 in Dickinson High School. Life wasn't easy for me and my brothers growing up in Jersey City. We ended up in tragic events that led us to go to foster homes, group homes, and being separated for 5 years. By the time I was 9, I was finally reunited with my brothers and my family. We were happy but poor, living in a one-bedroom apartment where we all shared beds and clothes. As life continued, we were forced to adapt to the streets, where my brothers and I We're surrounded by individuals who are in the same boat as us. Those same Jersey City streets that I walk by, I still remember my brothers, uncles, aunts, cousins, and friends who have lost their life to drug addiction, suicide, and gun violence. The harder the life got, I fought to survive, to find my way to get out. On March 23rd, 1994, while attending PS 25 school, Ms. Butler, the principal at the time, gave me some devastating news. It's all right. That one of my brothers were killed.
So, Mr. Collins, I might suggest, because Mr. Corona is obviously overwhelmed with emotion, and rightly so, that
could actually
perhaps-
continue.
Hold on a second. Perhaps either you would read it, Mr. Collins, or is there another witness that?
I was going to have Mr. Kishan Patel read it, it's his partner.
Mr.
When we-
Patel, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I am.
Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Kushan Patel, last name Patel. My address, 56 Patterson Street, Jersey City, New Jersey, 07307.
All right, you can continue with Mr. Corona's statement, who is overwhelmed for obvious reasons, and I'm sure everyone feels the sympathy. So go ahead.
So on March 23rd, 1994, while attending PS 25, Miss Butler, the principal at the time, gave Raphael a devastating news about his older brother being gunned down and killed. He was only 16 years old. He was killed on his mother's birthday. He was only 11 years old at the time, and life just got hard. He knew he had to continue. Life continued like this for him very, very long time. It was one after another. After another 22 deaths, to be exact, including his daughter. He remembers when he finally felt getting better in life, but then life again throws him a curveball. He is blindsided by his older brother, who tells him he has stage 4 cancer. Watching him die slowly crushed him, drove him into deep depression. His brother Eric could have died on any day of the year, but ends up dying on his birthday, May 5th, 2018. He remembers feeling relief that he no longer had to suffer, but deep, profound sorrow that he's gone. He felt like as if it was a curse. He's not the first family member to die around his birthday, but then he looked at it as a blessing, an honor, that his oldest brother passed on his birthday. Now, the hardest thing that he's ever done in life was to tell his mother. If anyone in this room has ever experienced telling a mother that her son has gone, then you know those screams. And if you never did, we hope you never have to. A mother's scream losing a child will scar you for life. He came here today thinking that he could possibly win, can turn the tides, change his future for his family and himself. Maybe all the loss of life will finally pay off. You all here on the board have viewed his philanthropy work as well as our philanthropy work, seen what he's done throughout his life. He's tried to do the right things to help people, young, old, regardless of who they are. He decided to cannabis but couldn't afford a lawyer until May 2022. On June 3rd, our first lawyer submitted our conditional license as a social equity candidate, and we just left it to the universe. June 30th, 27 days later, it was granted. Trying to get into the cannabis industry was very challenging, especially with no money. As social equity individuals, we've been told by many store owners and business that they don't want our kind. They look at us as minorities and they don't want us. Rent goes from $3,000 to $20,000 a month. Deposits $60,000. We need to show proof of $1 million in retainer. In our life, we felt the same struggles, growing up with kids to try to get ahead. On September 12th, things changed. We actually came to this CCB meeting. We vented our frustrations to the board. We were here and told that you guys were looking for candidates like us and not to give up. So we actually tried 1,000 times harder. The location that we got was 3 blocks away from Raphael's house and about like 8 blocks away from my house. He's been living there for 2000, and I've been living there since 2008. We found out September 12th, one of the applicants that failed on the CCB level. So with numerous individuals, we discussed with the city, and on meetings, we were told that no LOIs were going to get approved. Individuals needed full site control. So we got our lease with this location. Little did we know that we were going to be stuck with a 10-year lease as personal guarantors with no clause, thanks to our second lawyer who quit on us after taking our money, submitting incomplete application in Diverse of Commerce. He stated that he couldn't be our lawyer anymore due to conflict of interest. Now we're on our third lawyer, Mr. Collins, who has promised he's not going to leave us. And we've done everything possible here. We've taken the location that we've been running a business through since September 20th. We did everything to make it happen. We've got our lease. You already have the lease, so you know exactly how much we're paying in rent. It's almost impossible to try to make enough money to actually pay rent. We talked to neighbors. We talked to schools. We worked with the North District Police Department. We talked to Priscilla from SCORES to help us out. Floyd from Diversity and Inclusion. These are all guys on our teams. We have talked to everyone. They've already given us letters and are willing to help us out. Ralph and I have both also taken free classes online that will that were recommended to us for business-wise. Ralph has also taken the CRC metrics that the Cannabis New Jersey State actually has. Taking classes with Rising Tide Capital. He's also invested Indica Online as the POS system, which we're going to be using. Automated tracking and tracing report, customer sales limit monitoring, denial sales report, local and state tax tracking, inventory monitoring, inventory auto ordering, bank reporting, etc. Multiple trainings that we've done. We've also hired the top firms for security with Sapphire and Tony Gallo. We've contacted the top accounting firm with Citron Cooperman, who we're working with Mr. Harry Carpenter, who's going to help us out with compliances with the state. We also have gotten a letter from our councilman endorsing us. We also have a plan we're going to be hiring nothing but Jersey City residents. Our goal is to get people from SCORES, reentry programs. We need people with diversity, inclusion, and people that we think are fit for this position and that are willing to actually work in the cannabis field. We're going to be reimbursing for tuition regardless of what their major is. If they come in and they work for us and they're talking that they want to improve their life in a certain way.
Do you want to pause for a minute? Because Courtney just stepped away and she's not going to be able to vote if she misses part of the application.
We can wait.
I'm sorry.
We can wait.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we
Yep.
can wait.
Sorry.
Thank you for catching that.
And my apologies for your losses. I'm very sorry. If you want to step out too to compose yourself, that's fine.
Good, thank you. So, Mr. Patel, just some ministerial questions. On the certificate of formation, it has your last name spelled E-A-T-E-L. That would be a
That would definitely be a misspell. It would be Patel.
And it lists a David Cruz III.
No, so that's also been changed. So he's not on that anymore. The latest document actually has my name corrected on it, and Mr. David Cruz is no longer with the organization.
Thank you. So in other words, you have an amendment to this
Yes, we
certificate
do.
of formation. Did Mr. Collins do it or another attorney or
No, we
some
actually.
agency?
So we actually, since we have no money, we did it through LegalZoom, which was the cheapest and most affordable way of doing it. So we actually did it through them, and we do have the documentations. I thought we did. Our second lawyer, we thought, submitted the correct application, but we could actually send that over to you guys.
Just by way of clarification, About a month ago, I was contacted by mutual friends who asked me if I can help them because they were dropped at the last minute. And so I've been trying to get up to speed with everything. I've requested all the documentation prior from Genova Burns. I thought I received everything, but then I realized along the way, here and there, I had older documents. I didn't get newer versions. We had to keep asking for things as we go. Unfortunately, we may discover something like this that was taken care of but was not forwarded to us. I got in very late. I'm just trying to help. As you can see, I'm
No
just trying to help
reflection
these
on-
gentlemen. But I want to make it clear that they have met every step along the way. They've been completely involved. It's why I wanted them to speak, because they've been giving me all the information on what they've been going through. And since I wasn't with them from the beginning, I felt they were the best to speak on their behalf.
All right, Mr. Patel, the board is back. Why don't you continue with
Continue from
Mr.
there.
Corona's
Do-
statement?
Do we have the updated business information?
Mr. Collins, would you be so kind as to send me a copy of the amendment?
Sure we
You
can.
need not look for it now. You
Oh,
can-
I absolutely will. I absolutely will.
You can look for it while Mr. Patel is finishing up with
Yes.
Mr. Corona's statement.
I could continue, correct. So, just going back a little, we've hired the top security firms, Sapphire, Mr. Tony Gala. He's going to be helping us out with all our plans. Contact the top accounting firm with Citron Cooperman. Mr. Harry Carpenter will be helping us with that. We also got a letter of endorsement from our councilman from the Heights. And another thing was we're only hiring Jersey City residents. We want to keep it in-house with all Jersey City residents. And they're going to be coming from SCORE's reentry program, diversity, inclusion, and whoever we think it would be beneficial to us and the organization. We will also be giving employees tuition reimbursement. And it doesn't have to be anything in the cannabis field. It's whatever they want to do in life. We will be helping them out as much as we can with their tuition. If we could pay their whole tuition, we're fine with that too. We're going to pay up to 40 hours of voluntary hours for the employees to go to any nonprofit organization and work with them. It doesn't have to be something that we're working with, even though we work with a lot of nonprofits. It's whatever they feel comfortable and whatever affects them the best. And it'll be 40 hours paid. We will give mothers that are working for us flex schedule, because mothers, kids and everything, especially a lot of Jersey City women, like single mothers, it's hard. So it's going to be flex schedule for them. We'll set something up. And we're also going to be our counselor is going to help us with expungement for individuals' records. We're going to continue to help the community. If you look at our philanthropy work, you already know we've been doing this since 1996. A lot of the stuff that you guys haven't seen is because when we help people out, we don't really record or take pictures of we did this, we did that. And yet, that's all Mr. Corona had at this time. If you guys have any questions for him or I.
All right. The board have any questions for Mr. Corona? It appears he has composed himself. Thank you. Any questions? Board?
So I just wanted to get a sense of what you've been doing since 1996. So like you've been in partnership, the two of you.
So we actually.
Well, to the extent Mr. Corona can answer, I mean, that was his statement,
Yeah.
that was his testimony.
Correct.
So since 1996, I was involved with Positive Latino Association.
Okay.
Also the Urban Lead with Carmen Mendoza. As you can see, I wrote an essay while incarcerated in the youth house. Won the essay, got released, got sent to New Orleans to speak in front of 10,000 kids on a topic on the streets is the streets. And I was basically just talking about how the streets are for minorities in Jersey City. I've homeless shelters. I've done everything
So your
possible.
social impact is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Since 1996, it's not just
1996.
something you do, it's a part of you that's you're sharing. I just wanted to, because it was confusing having someone else read it.
Sorry
and then
about that.
Try to figure, no, just trying to figure out like what,
Some
we
of
were
these things
talking
I
about in
haven't spoke about in
1996, yeah.
20 years. So sorry.
yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Any other questions from board members? Mr. Collins, you wanted to say
I was going
something?
to say, Ms. Flanagan, I believe in their application, there was a list of the things they did. He may be having some
Yeah.
stage anxiety at the moment, but there's a lot more here that he's
Mm-hmm.
mentioned, and it's pretty impressive. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to help these gentlemen.
Can I say something real quick?
One second. Any questions on Mr. Corona's testimony thus far from anyone in the audience? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll close that. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to add to that.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Come on up to the microphone, please state.
Did you have a question, Jose?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Commissioner Flanagan asked the question that I was looking at. All his accomplishments that he listed
yeah,
on the
yeah.
application from 1996
Yeah.
to 2001, 2003, I was looking over.
All right, just please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
How you doing? Levi Johnson. I'm the CEO of Scores Reentry. I reside 97 Myrtle Avenue.
These are questions, questions only.
I think you wanted my,
No, we'll get to you later.
my question is that for these gentlemen, because I know that you recently met my partners, but I know that we don't have a signed MOU in place.
No, yeah, Priscilla is actually going to be working on it.
So that's just one of the things that we came to represent the board and state that we don't support any candidates until we have a signed MOU in place and that they've actually.
So I just want to say one thing because I think that it's curious that you're here now because I think we've heard your name on probably at least 15 applications. So I'm curious to know why you came to speak today, but we've never seen you before.
Well, I'm here today because I'm in a graduate program at NJCU, and I got my schedule fixed so that I can attend this meeting because we had candidates coming in here, and we actually have another candidate coming today, and we came in support of them. And I know that we met these gentlemen, but that's one of the reasons we came because we want to represent our agency in this meeting. So I cleared my schedule up so I can be here for in the future.
All right, any other questions? Questions only on Mr. Corona's testimony. All right, hearing none, seeing none. So presumably now, Mr. Patel, you would like to give some testimony to the board.
So, yes, I would actually like to say I'm a Jersey City resident for 38 years. Raphael and I actually grew up in Jersey City together. We met each other during high school, and going back to philanthropy work, we met through breakdancing. So we've been dancing since back in the days. With that dancing, it got to a point where we were using our skills to showcase at certain events where we would actually have young youth and individuals that wanted to learn. And we actually had like classes that we would actually do for them. And we also do have a nonprofit organization, but one of our individuals not here, but it's called Community of Urban Dance and Art. And they've been doing this since 2008 is when they became a nonprofit. But we've been doing this since 1998 is when we started. And that's how we actually connected. So when people say, what have you done for the community, ask any park association or they all know Raw Elements or Nothing But Knowledge or our actual breakdancing name, which was Natural Born Killers. But
I'm more of a mosh pit guy myself.
it was always a
I don't
battle on the
see
street.
much
But yeah, so I've been here for 38-year resident of Jersey City. PS25 as well. Graduated PS25, went to Dickinson High School. After I graduated from Dickinson High School, I went to Hudson County Community College because it was a 2-year scholarship program where you didn't have to pay anything. So I went, got my degree, engineering science, transferred to NJIT, got my bachelor's in electrical engineering, and then I actually went and I started working. And after I started working, my company actually told me that they'll pay for a master's degree. So I got my MBA from Florida Institute of Technology. So my background with Raphael's background when it comes to the cannabis stuff is basically to make sure everything aligns in the business aspect. So, and Ralph, he could also talk about his background when it comes to actually the plant itself.
All right, is that the conclusion of your testimony? We'll
Yes,
see if
yes,
the
sir.
board has any questions.
Did you find the corrected certificate of formation?
I have only the one that was sent for me from Genova Burgess, the original.
Okay,
I
so-
will find the corrected one.
So who are the members of?
So it's just Raphael and myself, Kushan Patel. The other person that's on there, David Cruz, he was already taken off. He's no longer part of the organization.
Okay.
There was one more amendment, which was Raja Raleigh, but he's a friend of ours, also breakdancer guy, but he left to the Army, so we had to take him off.
Yeah.
He's now
Yeah, enlisted man in the Army.
Can they not?
Any other questions from board members for Mr. Patel?
So currently, there's the two of you.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
And so, in which part will you play, Patel?
Myself?
Yes.
So I'm going to be working like more on the compliance officer. Mr. Rafael Corona is going to be the day-to-day guy.
Okay.
I'm going to come in, make sure that everything from top is actually organized. So when everybody does payroll, everything goes up, accounting gets everything, where the money's coming from. So as an engineer, I've worked on projects that start up all the way to end. So think of a computer. I can make processors, I make chips, I make everything, connect it, turn it into a motherboard, put it into a computer. You have a product that could be used. Now that product goes obsolete after a while. Once it goes obsolete, it has to be destroyed. This is the same concept that's in marijuana. It gets grown, it gets distributed to a wholesaler. We get it from the wholesaler, it comes to us. If there's any defects, we send it back to the wholesaler, we talk to them, figure out what's going on. Everything is traceable and tracked. Comes to us, we get it, we sell it. If there's an expiration date, I have to make sure, how do I dispose of these? How do I get rid of it?
Understood.
That's my part of it.
Understood. I was just going from your plan. So, would you be the COO or?
I would be working as a COO,
Okay.
but it would also be like the compliance as well as risk officer as well.
Okay.
All right, any other questions from board members on Mr. Patel's testimony thus far? All right, hearing none, seeing none. Members of the public, questions for Mr. Patel on his testimony, questions only? See somebody's coming up to the mic. Go ahead.
I think this was one of the applications that we had denied before. So you have no affiliation with Artistic other than you assumed their lease, correct? So they're not involved.
Not involved at all.
Just to be clear, they assume their lease, but with a personal guarantee as well. So everything is riding on this. I have a guarantee signed personally by them. They've leveraged their entire net worths on this space because that's the lease they were talking about, the 10-year lease that they are stuck in. It was the only way they could get a space. It was a space that was originally listed as a possibly approved site. So they invested in it. They run a business out of it now with the hopes of, that's just to pay the lease while this process is going on. As many of you are aware, it's a very expensive process. You have to have everything in place before you can even start to put applications together. So they took the only opportunity they had, which was this business, and they've invested everything in it. The applicant, the prior applicant, has nothing to do with them whatsoever. There's an arm's length lease that was assumed. There is the guarantee that they gave. Everything's on the line, and it's all on them. The other applicant has nothing to do with this. They only stand to benefit because they're collecting rent.
And the planning board approval is in the name of Artistic Dispensary. I mean, it runs with the land
Yes.
as long as you're not changing things substantially.
Yeah, no, they're not. They won't change any. They wouldn't be changing anything but literally the letters on the sign, and the way that they're organized to say the new name of JC Element. They're going to keep the same front, the same sign, the same store space, everything. It was designed for a cannabis business, and so that part they were able to. But they also have a guarantee to pay for that construction as well that was done. So they're on the hook for everything. They've got their whole lives wrapped up in this application.
All right, understand there was a question on either, all right, looks like maybe that question got answered. Anyone else from the public that has questions for either Mr. Patel, Mr. Corona? Hearing none, seeing none, back to the board. Oh, sorry. I'm going to open it up for public comment. Come on up. You're limited to 3 minutes. You can say anything, but I need to swear you in. Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name, spell your last name slowly, and give us your address.
My name is Elliot Rose, last name spelled R-O-S-E, address 80 Hancock Avenue, Jersey City.
All right, Mr. Rose, what would you like to tell the board?
I'm here to talk about character. I met these gentlemen. I moved into my lease about a year ago. I just re-signed. They opened a couple months after I moved in. I knew the owner of Artistic from downtown. When they opened, it's still artistic. So I got connected with Ralph when I stopped in to welcome them to the neighborhood. Since then, Ralph and I have had a wonderful relationship. Been nothing but supportive. I'm also in recovery, coming from years of drug addiction, suicide attempts, all that kind of stuff. So we really clicked on a level that I don't click with many people, right? I've also experienced a lot of loss in my family. Grandfather was a Newark fireman, family full of public service, right? Cousins are cops, Irish Catholic, typical New Jersey family, right? And it's just connection. They have a jar on their counter for the homeless population in the Heights of Jersey City. No other shop in the Heights on Central Avenue does things like that for the community, right? You walk into that shop, it's diverse. There are many people of color, many people that look like myself, very different backgrounds, all supportive, all, you know what I mean? Like, you go in there and you smile. You talk to Ralph, you smile because he makes your day, right? And, you know, we've all been through a lot, and it's always nice to get that break, that thing that you've always been striving for. And I just hope you wonderful people realize that you kind of hold the fate of these gentlemen's lives in your hands. So do you want to be remembered as heroes that really changed their lives? Because I remember people that have changed mine to this day from years ago. That's all I want to ask you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for letting me to speak.
And anyone else? Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Rosanna Villaflor, Rossana, Villaflor, Villaflor, 393 Union Street.
Thank you. What would you like to tell the board?
Good evening, first of all. As you know, my name is Rosanna. I am a product of the Jersey City Public Schools, raised in Jersey City. Grown up, graduated from NJCU, and now I'm an educator for Jersey City Public Schools. And I would like to, in support of Mr. Patel, Mr. Corona, and their business, to be supported in the Heights, because I have known these gentlemen for most of my life, really. And they have
teach
done.
You how to break dance?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Right outfit.
Absolutely. We've been breakdancing since the 90s through the 2000s. And I think they are a true representative of what Jersey City stands for, diversity and giving back to the community. So when they get their business, I really truly believe that they're not just doing something for themselves and for their family, but also really giving back for the good of Jersey City and what Jersey City stands for. So, thank you.
Thank you. Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
My name is Juan Pinder, Pinder. I'm a Jersey City Public School, and I am the teacher they spoke about. Rosanna's teachers, Kushan teacher also. And Kushan mentioned, Mr. Patel mentioned a non-for-profit group. You have the president, vice president, and I'm the treasurer of this group. Corona and Patel I've known them for over 20 years, since they were teenagers. From the high school and the club on to the non-for-profit group. They are very passionate in their belief about this business. I think they will be a good fit for the city, the location, and the people and the community as well. I am here to support them because I believe in them for over 20 years. I was a resident of Jersey City. I'm no longer a resident. I'm still a teacher currently in Jersey City Public School teacher. They have my full support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we'll close that public portion. Mr. Collins, is there anything you wanted to add in 30 seconds or 2 minutes?
I forwarded a letter earlier from Councilman Youssef Saleh. I was hoping you received it. I know that sometimes we're on the go as attorneys all day.
I'm sure the board did, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure, as you see, we have the full support of the Councilman Youssef Saleh for that ward. He met with my clients. He felt it was incumbent upon him. It's why he came late, but he felt it was incumbent upon him to support this application.
All right, thank you very much. All right, back to the board, questions or motion or?
Okay, so a couple of things. One, anything that comes less than 2 weeks after the meetings doesn't necessarily get reviewed by the board, just because I know two of us that sit up here three of us are not able to do this stuff during the day. So I personally did not see that letter, and I don't know, I can't speak to who did. In terms of making someone's dreams come true, please don't put that burden on. Not knowing how anyone's going to vote, we are merely a step in the process. We are an advisory board, and we do not have the final determination. There are still several steps. And the one thing I will say is now there's a lot of distance concern. This board is not the arbiter of that. We're supposed to consider establishments within a close proximity, less than 1,000 feet. That's not, I'm just stating for full disclosure that we're just an advisory board, and there may be issues down the line, because I do know Central Avenue has become a very popular place for cannabis dispensaries. So I just want to say that we're just one step in the process and not the final say.
Any other board members?
We also didn't ask about your security plan. We want limited information. We don't tell us the codes, don't tell us
Yeah, no.
where the camera is, just a brief overview, and who the 24-hour contact is.
So I'm your 24-hour contact. I only live 3 blocks away, so I'll be the 24-hour contact. We'll have on-site security, unarmed, 24/7, cameras, everything. The basic security thing. We work with Tony Gallo and Sapphire, so he's educated us very well on how to run this business and the security prospect of it. Is there anything else you want to know about security? So when people come in, they get ID checked, 21, and then when you go to the register, you get checked again. And those who've been flagged, they won't be allowed back in.
And employees. Are you a micro business? Or you are, so you can have 10 employees.
Yes.
And you plan to hire through SCORES, and you said the Office of Diversity and Inclusion.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else from the board members? All right, if not, now would be the time to decide whether someone should move a motion to either approve or deny the application.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve CCB 23-39 JC Elements LLC.
Is there a second to Mr. Kaplowitz's motion?
I'll second his motion.
Roll call.
Chairperson Boney,
I'm not going to vote. I'll abstain.
Vice Chair Kaplowitz,
No, I'm not the vice chair anymore.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Kaplowitz,
I vote yes. I wish you all the luck in the world and much success.
Commissioner Sloan,
I would vote yes also.
Commissioner Flanagan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cantorero.
Best of luck, you guys.
Good luck.
Motion carries. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
All right. All right, with the board's permission, CCB 23-40 City Farm LLC.
Do you need a break or anything? You're good? Okay. Thank you.
I need one extra chair. Can I steal that one?
You certainly could
Not
borrow it.
stealing.
Lawyers don't steal.
Some of us.
Wow. All right. That's great. Nice to see you again, Mr. Mazzone. If you, now that you're situated, could you please enter your appearance into the record and perhaps spend 30 seconds on what this application is all about? I was all excited when I saw City Farm. I said, finally, a cultivation, but it's another retail.
Well,
Well, it may take more than 30 seconds to introduce this team. I'm Furqan Muzan. I'm partner at Fox Rock Trial here representing City Farm. City Farm is a micro license applicant. They've been awarded the conditional license from the state already. They too plan to operate in the Heights, 298 Central Avenue. No plans for a consumption lounge. And the nearest school, PS8, I think, is well over 1,000. The team I'm about to introduce you to are made up of a pretty fair amount of current Jersey City residents and also a Jersey City alum. Also a part of the team, we have a 20-year veteran of the Jersey City Police Department, heading security. There's a corporate lawyer helping with the documents and expungement programming. There's a Wall Street executive and a CFO with significant experience handling tax and compliance issues in the cannabis industry. So I'll introduce everyone briefly and then one by one we'll question them. First up is Diana Dominguez. That's Diana. She's the mastermind of this whole thing. She's been living in Jersey City for the past few years. She's a marketing and branding expert with a BS in marketing from our state. She's been preparing for this license for a few years now, working in the retail CBD industry in Jersey City. So she has some experience with CBD retail and also some experience giving back to the city of Jersey City. She'll be here discussing the overall business plans and plans to give back to the community. Sitting next to her is her dad, William Dominguez. He's a Jersey City alum, settling in the Heights after leaving Cuba in 1967. So he's been around a long time. He's on the team, not just because it's her dad, but for his significant management experience. Mr. Dominguez has been operations manager. He's been a general manager, and in those roles, he's overseen hundreds of millions of dollars in inventory and hundreds of employees. So his responsibility in the City Farm is the hiring plans. Next to me is Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson's corporate lawyer. He's been a friend of mine for 15 years. We work together at Gibbons, one of the largest law firms in the state. And ever since I've known him, he's always lived in Jersey City, so one of the reasons I reached out. The reason he's on this plan is not only is he a corporate lawyer, he's a partner at Gibbons. He is probably the first black equity partner in the history of the firm that's been there hundreds of years. So kudos to him.
Congratulations.
And in addition to doing that, he's the chief diversity officer at the firm. So his role in City Farm will be to help with the diversity plans and also to organize and staff the expungement clinics that they're going to put on quarterly. And you'll hear more about that a little bit later. Finally, to the end is Bayan Oluyade. And Bayan actually has cannabis experience. He is a CPA with a BS in accounting from Monmouth University, a master's in taxation from Georgetown, and he's managed the accounting and tax compliance teams for Columbia Care, which is one of the biggest cannabis companies in the country. So his work on CFO is going to be the CFO for City Farm. That's easy. And he'll be great. Also in the audience, I knew there wasn't enough chairs for everyone. So 2 people in the audience. Mark Hennessy is a retired Jersey City cop. He spent 20 years on the force, retired a couple years ago. He's going to head the security. And also next to him is Lloyd Glavasic. He is the godfather of Deanna, a good friend of William, and he's also a Wall Street executive. So he's the person on the team that's going to know how to handle the millions of dollars that's going to come through Central Avenue. So first, I'd like to swear in Deanna. Ask her a couple.
The mastermind, right? There's a great Grateful Dead tune that women are smarter than men. So here we go. All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Diana Dominguez, D-O-M-I-N-G-U-E-Z. I reside at 382 Marion Boulevard, apartment 2 in Jersey City, New Jersey, 07302.
Your witness, sir.
Thank you. So, Deanna, you come from great stock, right? So your dad is big wig in corporate America.
Did he just say you need a wig?
I said big wig.
Oh.
And your godfather is a Wall Street executive, right? So why did you decide to get into the cannabis?
Other than starting to use cannabis for my own personal reasons to be able
Is your microphone on? There's a button, push, and it'll turn green.
Can you hear me now? Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. So other than starting to use it myself personally to aid in sleep and anxiety, mostly through college, I fell into CBD in around 2019. At that point, I started to learn a little bit more about cannabis and the benefits and the different components of the plant and the additional benefits that it can offer. So at that time, I started to sell CBD products online as well as trade shows, one of those being the Liberty Science Center After Dark. So I've participated in that over the last few years. I decided shortly after to leave corporate world and pursue opening a CBD boutique. That unfortunately was put on hold for a little while due to the pandemic. So that led me to opening the downtown location on Jersey Avenue, named the Hem Social, in August of 2020, so mid-pandemic. At that point, I realized that a lot of individuals started feeling more anxiety, depression, stress during that time. There was a lot of uncertainty, whether it was new feelings for them or heightened during that time, including myself. So my mission at that point was to be able to serve this community by providing natural methods for them to feel better and help them improve quality of life as well.
That's a great answer. So you've worked in Jersey City for a while.
Yes.
What have you done for the city since you've been?
So over the past few years, other than participating in local events through HSID, as well, I was a part of downtown for quite some time. I've contributed to many local nonprofits, including Whole Spectrum Autism, the Angela Cares Foundation, as well as the Kids First Foundation the last few years for their annual toy drive that they host in the Heights at PS 28. Additionally, I've collaborated with other local businesses on events and products. One of the local cannabis platforms, Jersey City Cannabis, we've partnered a few times to host networking educational events that we hosted at Snapdragon Cafe on Monticello Ave in McGinley Square. So we tried to involve other local small businesses as well in those events to give other cannabis entrepreneurs the opportunity to kind of communicate with each other and just be able to educate one another. Additionally, other than hosting expungement clinics, which Robert will touch upon, I am intending to work with 2 nonprofit organizations and partner with local professionals to develop STEM programs and educational and trade programs for them for us to provide for the younger youth as well as the young adults in the community. For me, this idea really came because I felt that it was important, especially on the trade side, it was important for us to provide different things to give these kids opportunities to find things that they may be interested in, be more hands-on with, to have something to be passionate to work towards in their adult life. So that's where my community impact plan had kind of come about. So I intend to work with Athletes for a Better Community as well as Styles House, Inc., which is a brand new local nonprofit.
And you have MOUs with both of them?
Yes, sir.
Let's end with the questions for Ms. Dominguez.
Any of the board members have any questions for Ms. Dominguez?
I'm just wondering why you wouldn't stay in the location. So you plan to continue to operate Hemp Social?
Unfortunately, my former partner and I also had a personal relationship, so I stepped away from that and I was already in pursuance of the license as 100% owner, but I decided to step away and move into doing this by myself.
Okay. So you currently have 2 locations, right? You have
So-
the Jersey Avenue and then
Palisade in the Heights.
Okay.
Which was actually the same block where my dad first lived when he was a kid. So
Okay.
that was very meaningful for me.
So then what you just shared with Stacy, that you're no longer part of social.
Yes.
Okay. Understood.
And we were fortunate enough to find another location because the plan A was the Hemp Social and to turn it into cannabis. Whatever went on with that. So we were able to find another location, and Deanna was 100% owner of that venture as well.
Mhm.
We just moved the location to Central Avenue.
Perfect.
Can you tell us a little more about your work with Spectrum Autism and Angela Cares?
So I provided them monetary donations as well as we did for Angela Cares. There was a fundraising event that I participated in at the Treehouse Coffee Shop
Okay.
as well. Of course.
Oh, can you tell us who runs Style House?
So the president is Monique Wilson. So Monique is a Jersey City resident. She's been here for over 10 years. She's been a foster parent now for quite some time.
I didn't know that she was running this.
Oh, yeah.
I just met her recently, yeah.
I believe she's here as well. Yeah.
I just didn't know the name of this nonprofit.
Yes, so they actually just secured their facility at 26 Schneider, which we've already kind of started the development of some of the workshops that we're planning to do at that location.
Thanks.
And what does the nonprofit do?
So they're providing a 3-year program for foster children who age out of the system. So, we're going to provide workshops, depending on if they decide that they want to move directly into the workforce, we'll provide them support and guidance, whether it be resume building or things of that nature. And then, should they decide they want to pursue a college education, then we will be assisting them in those initiatives as well.
In your application,
Yes.
it talks about the lease. There's an assumption of a lease.
Yes.
And could you forward to the Commerce Department so we could later on?
Absolutely.
The original lease.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions from board members? Hearing none.
So with all of are you at all concerned with the number of dispensaries opening on Central Avenue? There's a considerable number, so why would you choose that location?
Truly, I don't find it to be a hurdle for any of us. I think that there's plenty to go around for all of us. We're all going to be, carrying different types of products. We're all going to have our own specialties and branding. So I think it's important for us all to support one another.
Any other questions from board members?
We didn't ask about security. Can you give us?
Probably have another witness for that, I would assume.
You're not answering that.
I can.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So first and foremost, on the outside, we are not going to be allowing any loitering. There will be ID check at the first point by a security guard. We'll have 2 security guards, one at entry and then another that will be monitoring the perimeter of the store. We'll have about 15 security cameras, interior and exterior, 5 panic alarm buttons. We'll be using ADT for our 24/7 monitoring, as well as video monitoring as well. And I will be one of those point of contacts 24 hours, and my director of security, Mark Hennessy, will be the other.
See what I mean, Mastermind? She can probably answer all the questions.
Anything else from the board members? Hearing none, seeing none, I'll open it up to the public. Questions and questions only on Ms. Dominguez's testimony. Yeah.
Right.
Hearing none, seeing none, next witness.
I'd like to swear in William.
Sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I
You can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, give us your address.
William Dominguez. That's Dominguez. 28 North Whittier, Carteret, New Jersey.
Sir, your witness.
You're on the team because of your experience managing people. So how many employees do you expect to have to hire for City Farm?
Well, because it's a micro retailer, it's we're only able to hire no more than 10 associates. Again, we plan to hire 100% of those individuals from the city here in Jersey City. We will also look to hire those who have been affected by the cannabis related crimes. So again, it's something that we'll pursue through local resources here in the city, go to the community colleges, hopefully work with the administration, again, recommendations through them and through the local community. As far as other than that's for employment purposes. I mean, we will be offering a comprehensive benefit package. That will also include, competitive salary for the individuals, for these individuals.
What's the salary per hour, if you know?
Well, it's as a full-time associate, that is $30K a year. Part-timers will come in at between $18, $20 an hour. And then again, security, that's, I might even apply for one of those jobs. But again, we, like I said, we just, advancement, we plan on 100% within, in-house, between workshops and just communication to the associates, just developing them just to better themselves. So, again, that's something we're going to promote. Workshops are going to be something that we're going to look forward to doing quite a bit of with the associates.
And it's
Hopefully guiding
William.
them.
Is
Excuse me.
it William? I'm sorry. your
William,
first
ma'am.
name.
William, yes.
So can you share any information, anything that you have learned or your intentions around any of the expungement and working within those parameters?
Well, to be, excuse me.
He's going to do the
Oh.
expungement clinics. He's the lawyer. that's
Oh, I
gonna-
forgot. Yeah, okay. So then, William, can I also ask, so
Sure.
you talked about sourcing locally, but how is it that you will access these people? The
Well,
local
like-
residents that you're looking to hire?
Again, through
I think I know who it is. Local initiatives and the community college.
basically, and also through the community
Well, one of them being the
college.
community college.
And again, we're just,
We're good.
yeah, so I'm not
A little
a
nervous.
public speaker here, but again, resources within the local community. Again, those resources, to be honest with you, I haven't looked into them in detail, what's out there for us. I'm sure that there'll be quite a bit of resources that we can utilize to help us get that word out and, attract individuals to come in.
Anything else from the board members?
Sure.
I just
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to,
Yes, sir.
just for clarity, because you said 30,000 for a full-time associate,
Yes, ma'am.
but then you said $18 to $20 an hour for a part-time person? 'Cause
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
I think I
just
know.
to say, am I confused, but the new state law for minimum wage is, we're at $15 an hour, and a $30,000 a year for a full-time would be under that $15 an hour.
That's why we went to law school, so we don't have to add and subtract, right?
What's the math?
I don't know, I just,
These are the,
yeah.
I think it's 30 for part-time probably.
Yeah, I was just thinking if you
Okay.
may have meant $30 an hour versus $30,000 a year.
There's
Yeah.
There's
Stand
a
to be
plan
corrected.
in the package.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions for
Yeah.
Mr. Dominguez. Unless someone else-
All right, board members, any other questions? Hearing none, seeing none. Folks in the audience, questions and questions only? Hearing none, seeing none. Next witness.
Like swearing Robert Johnson.
Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
Robert Johnson.
Turn your mic on.
Yep.
Sorry. Robert Johnson. My address is 350 Warren Street, apartment 524, Jersey City.
Your witness.
Yes, sir. So you're the chair of the diversity and inclusion at your firm. Can you tell us a little about the diversity plan for City Farm?
I am. I've had a lot of experience in this area, mainly in the context of law firms. I speak on a lot of events and panels, in particular increasing diversity in the legal profession. But I also do it for like businesses as well, because some of the same principles apply. In particular with this cannabis and licenses and people having the opportunity to make money, traditionally minorities have been incarcerated for years behind this, right? And now all of a sudden, have clients come in our firm, like hedge funds coming in and make money, how they can partner. And, I think it's imperative in particular with this particular business and product that, well, they have a strong commitment to diversity and inclusion. That's why we mentioned like some of the programs like doing the expungement clinics. I've had a long history working with the volunteers lawyers, VLJ, Volunteer Lawyers for Justice, with our firm, prompting attorneys and trying to, get them to do 50 pro bono hours and giving them origination, actual billable credit for that time that they spend to fill out expungements. So people who've kind of got caught up into the system in their entire life disrupted over a joint, to correct that. Because it was a tragedy of justice, but that's some of the kind of experience I would like to bring. And you can see that with our MOU with Style House, that's what we kind of plan on doing, is at least quarterly. That's a strong way to give back to the community and give people the opportunity to work, because I see diversity not just in the lens of social responsibility or corporate social responsibility. I see it as a business initiative, because that's how you're going to have a multiplier effect. So that's kind of some of the things that I want to do, in particular with the expungement with this organization, just to make sure that we give back to the community by actually helping clear people's records so they can kind of get into the game of employment. So.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any questions from board members?
So are you being paid by City Farm to do this work? Or are you doing this work as a volunteer for the organization?
I am not being paid by City Farm to do this work.
But you have equity in this company.
I do. Yeah. So same with my firm. I have us doing a number of different programs with African American Chamber of Commerce, VLJ, Institute for Entrepreneurial Leadership. I see that as kind of in part as like my job. It is my job now, and I think it's the most important thing that I have the opportunity to do. So.
Any other questions from board members? Public, any questions for Mr. Johnson? Hearing none, seeing none. Next witness.
That's my final witness over here. Bayan Alud.
Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
My name is Bayan, pronounced Diane with a B. Last name Oluwadi, Oluyiadi. Address is 100 Southwood Avenue, Linden, New Jersey, 07036.
All right, so this needs to be corrected. It says 1020 Spruce Street, Roselle.
I just moved into an apartment I'm renting.
Thank you.
Yeah. But that's still my house.
Gotcha. Your witness, sir.
Well, just one question. He's on the team because he actually has experience working in this industry. He'll be the CFO. So I wanted to ask him, what would you say would be the biggest challenge to cannabis startups from operational and tax perspective?
That's a great question. I think it's the most obvious one, cash flow. Working for one of the biggest firms that were in the forefront, advising cannabis companies as the states were approving them, cash flow was a huge hurdle. So they had to have a lot of financial backing. And as you know, in 2018, 2019, a lot of banks were staying away from this. So that was a big hurdle even at the bigger stage like a Columbia Care. So I had to be the Grim Reaper, letting them know that their tax liability was significantly high because, as we all know, one of the section RSC Section 280E disallows a lot of operating expenses, especially at the retail level. So I would say cash flow management would be priority, just because at the end of the day, the outflow of cash is going out to pay the employees, to pay the rent, to pay anything under the line of gross profit. But at the end of the day, you're paying tax essentially on 80% of your income. So cash flow.
I don't have any more questions for him.
All right. Board members, questions for Mr.
I have a question.
Oluwadi?
With your experience in the industry, I'm assuming around the country, where's your projection of cannabis in New Jersey for over 5 years from now?
I think it's going to blow up because it's one of those things that even when, and this was in 2018, at this time I think Colorado, Massachusetts, California, Michigan, a handful of states were at the forefront saying, hey, we want these tax dollars. So I think a lot of other states are just waiting for federal to get legalized, which is going to happen. I think that's the inevitable. It's just a matter of when. But for New Jersey as a state that's proximity to New York, they saw what happened with Cali and Colorado, and we're as small of a state as we are, we're still very densely populated, and there's a significant amount of small businesses. So I think it's going to do good as long as it's regulated, as what I'm hearing and what I'm reading so far.
Any other questions from board members? Hearing none, seeing none from the public. Hearing none, seeing none. Next witness.
We're done.
Done. All right. All right, let's open up to the public. Comments?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Comments either for or against the application? Come on up. Please raise your right hand once you get situated. Thank you. You swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
My name is Monique Wilson, Wilson. My address is 9 Van Cleave Street, Jersey City, New Jersey, 07305.
Welcome. What would you like to tell the board?
I'm here again, as someone else has said, a character witness for Deanna. I met Deanna at a women's advisory board. We talked about my organization, which is Styles House, that she informed you guys of what I do. And we were talking about the youth in Jersey City. Being a foster parent for almost 9 years with several, I only deal with teenagers. I don't do younger kids. We have such a...
Is your microphone on?
Yeah, I believe so. I hear it doing
Okay.
something over here. We have such a large group of teenagers who not only deal with cannabis or, just want to be involved in it. I thought it was something, to partner up with to educate the young youth in Jersey City of what it is as opposed to smoking it. So we had a great bond. We had a great several conversations, and we decided to work with each other as a owner and my own nonprofit organization to educate all of the youth that we deal with, that we come across with in Jersey City. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Come on up. Welcome, sir. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, give us your address.
Sure. My name is Andre Cepeda. Address is 579 Palisade Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey. I first and foremost want to say that it's actually really nice to see a lot of entrepreneurs coming out of Jersey City, being someone that is also an entrepreneur coming from Jersey City, born and raised, and especially seeing a woman-owned company as well coming up here, because you don't see a lot of those. So I do commend Deanna for taking the risk and the everything else that comes with it. So I'm proud of her on that. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I have been working with and partnering with Deanna over the course of several months to a year now, and she is an integral part also in my company as well. I have a medical supply business. I am part of Hackensack Meridian's first company to be part of Hackensack Meridian's first supply diversity department, and Deanna is a integral part with helping me with regulations on the medical side. So I know when it comes to marijuana and everything of that nature and laws, this is also a great thing that I like to put out there in terms of that. But when it comes to seeing her working with Hemp Social, I've seen throughout the years how she grew that company with success, and seeing where the next transition is it's a great positivity for us in the community. Up in the Heights, in the area, Central Avenue is where I live. So thank you, and that's pretty about it.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, hearing none, seeing none, we'll close that public portion of the meeting. Anything else you want to add, Mr. Milan?
Really quick. So this whole thing started with Deanna, as you may have guessed. I asked the same question that one of the panelists asked when she first came to me, like, why do you want to be in Jersey City? It's going to be 100 dispensaries in Jersey City. She's like, I'm from there. My dad came there. I love it there. I want to be in Jersey City. Still think it's a long shot. I'm like, me and you're going to sit in front of the CCB, just me and you? Why don't you go out, and if you find somebody that's used to handling a lot of cash, week later, I meet Lloyd. Then I said, well, do you know anybody that's hired a lot of people, that has managed large groups of people? Then I meet Mr. Dominguez. Then we talk about cannabis experience, and I meet. Then we talk about security, and the next thing I see a resume from a retired police officer from Jersey City. So at this point, I'm convinced that whatever obstacle that's put in front of her, she'll figure out a way to get through it. So now we're sitting here with a team that I think is as good as any team. And my answer to the competition in Jersey City, honestly, I'm thinking, did Usain Bolt worry who else was in the race when he lined up to run? Like, probably not. I think this team is going to succeed. I hope a lot of others do as well. But I don't think that there is a way to put together a group of people to do what they've always been doing just in this industry. I don't think you can do it any better.
Thank you for that. All right, back to the board.
So can I just, I'm going to disclose that Andreas is one of my vendors. So if you're doing, are you part of his business? Are you in business with him? Because if that's the case, I just need to recuse myself from this.
So I assist him with operational work. So I do client relations for him and things of that nature. So
Yeah, but Andres has nothing to do with this business. It's
No.
a separate,
It's just
distinct
separate,
business.
and I just want to make sure that you're.
when I stepped away from Hemp Social, I began working with him for his company as a local business, and I assist him with daily operations for his company.
I think you're fine. Anything else from the board? Go ahead.
Do you guys want to move into a work session?
I think I'd like to make the motion to proceed to take a vote.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Chairperson Boney,
No.
Vice Chair Cantorero,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplowitz.
I think you have a good team, and I think you'll succeed, and I want to wish you all the best. I vote yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sloan,
Nice work. Very, very nice work.
you.
Congratulations, and I wish you all the luck.
Thank you so much.
I vote yes.
All right.
Commissioner Flanagan.
I'm going to abstain. So.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Piece of cake, right?
All right, if we could have the next application, CCB 23-41, Mames Dank World LLC.
Do you want a break? Okay.
All right, good evening, Counselor. Please enter your appearance into the record.
Good evening,
Perhaps,
sir.
Spend a minute or two telling us what this application is about and who's going to testify.
Well, my name is James Lees. I represent the applicant. We came before this board respectfully requesting a continuance to the next board meeting.
I'm sorry, can we? Go ahead.
Okay, can we start again?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. My name is James Lees. I'm counsel to the applicant, and we're coming before the panel to ask for a continuance to the next board meeting. I was recently retained, and there's some things that we need to sort out with respect to the address that we've selected. We've selected 492 Communipore Avenue, which would be right across the street from 495 Communipore Avenue, which has been approved on December 12th. But I think that would be in violation of the rules and regulations as set forth in the guidelines. So we're asking for a 30-day continuance.
Would be
Yeah, I think our next meeting is
February 6th.
February 6th. Is that enough time for you, or you want to?
I believe that's enough time.
Okay.
It's
So
not 30 days.
It's not 30 days. It's, so our rule is if it's less, did we say a week? Or 2 weeks?
I forgot what rule.
If you decide you want to change again, you would need to let us know as soon as possible, because we do, out of respect for the other applicants, we would have you come appear in front of us again. So do you want to let us know by the end of the week?
Well, let me ask you this. The next meeting subsequent to February 6th would be when?
March 13th.
No, I think we're going to have to rush to get here by February 6th.
Okay,
We'll be
all
here.
right. I have no problem making a motion to let them.
So that the record's clear, you want the next meeting to be February 6th, and the chair was pointing out that these folks up here need the documents or amendments or anything else that you change, I believe, 2 weeks prior.
Correct.
So, I mean.
Which is today.
Which
We
would
will make
be-
sure that
yeah.
we have.
Yeah, no, that would be today.
Yeah, it wouldn't be possible.
No.
Thank you.
It's because of the dates.
It's
Okay.
impossible to have
Today's the
them.
23rd.
Then it would have to be
We,
March.
yeah, unfortunately, we have a city holiday right in the middle, and I believe are you on vacation? Someone's away.
No, I'm.
No. So, okay, I guess it'll have to be March,
Yeah, which date is that?
March 13th.
Okay, that's fine.
So is there a motion to
Motion to let them carry the application.
Second.
roll call?
Chairperson Bunny,
Yes.
Commissioner Kaplowitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Sloan,
We're carrying it, a motion to carry, you're voting, yes or no?
No.
Not to carry it?
I think she's.
carry it.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Votes yes, thank you. Okay.
Commissioner Flanagan,
Yes.
Vice Chair
Okay.
Cantoraro.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, guys.
We will see you
Thank you.
in March.
We'll be ready. LASA.
It's James, Lisa. Lisa.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, something totally different.
No problem.
Thank you.
I wasn't with that. Thank you.
I apologize. I've been on trouble today. My voice is shot.
All right, if we could have CCB 23-42, Buku Culture LLC, 390 Tunnelly Ave.
I guess we're gonna have this heavy sweater on.
Nice to see you again, Shirali. When you get situated there, please be so kind as to enter your appearance into the record and give us a brief description as to what the application is and who's going to be testifying.
Yeah, I think.
Gonna come.
They have to come back, right?
No.
No? It's different classification.
How about you two sit right here? Yeah. I think the mic's on. Okay. Good evening, CCB members. My name is Shirali Patel on behalf of Blaze Law Firm, representing Buku Culture LLC. I apologize, I have a cold. It's nothing else, so that's why I sound congested. My Buku Culture LLC is a micro business. They're applying for a Class 5 retail license in Jersey City. They have property secured at 390 Tonelli Avenue, and these are the 4 members. It's a women and minority-owned business. The majority owner is Ronnie Smith, who is going to speak first, and then they're all going to speak. I'm gonna just kind of be sitting here and participating if I need to. Then there's Claire Denise Kelly, who is also you're the CEO. And Ronnie is the president of the company. And then they have their partners who are actually brothers, Evan and Ben Peranti, who are also going to be speaking. And so I'll let Ronnie get started. If Ronnie, you want to raise your right hand?
Before you do that, a very quick question. Mr. Kaplowitz mentioned to me that in your papers, you indicate that you're going to be a micro, but you want to expand, I guess, after a year.
If the state gives them the approval to. Right now, we don't have criteria that's established for them to go beyond the 2,500 square feet, but they do have enough of a lot size. And right now, their retail is going to be limited to just 1,700 square feet. So it may be more like maybe 500 to 1,000 square feet max, if that.
So his question to me, and right now I'm unable to answer it, is whether or not you'd have to return. A micro business versus a standard is typically very different. So understand that I'll get some direction from the city attorneys, and I will speak to the board about this, but I'm not sure at this juncture, but he raises a good point.
Because your total square footage is over 3,000 square feet.
Right, but the retail is just limited to, is 2,500 or less, and they're only at 1,700 square feet right now.
Or the retail.
Correct. And it's not a definitive if they're going to convert either. It's just if the state gives them the opportunity, the local municipality approves, then they'll move forward. But as of now, it's strictly a micro business.
All right, fair enough. Why don't we get started with the first witness? I'm sorry, who's the first witness? Please raise your right. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name, spell your last name slowly, and give us your address.
My first name is Ronnie. My last name is Smith, S-M-I-T-H. My address is 2 Gifford Court, East Hanover, New Jersey. Hi, everyone. My name is Ronnie Smith again. I am the majority owner of Buku Culture. I would like to start by telling you a little bit about myself. I was born in Trinidad and Tobago, where when I was young, my mother brought myself and my 5 brothers and sisters to the United States to provide a better life and opportunity for us. We settled in Brooklyn, New York, where I graduated high school and lived up until 2003. In 2004, I moved to East Hanover, New Jersey, where I currently live today. I was legally blind when I was young and learned that I had to work extra hard to overcome my disability. Opening up my own business is my goal that I have been working very hard for, and hopefully today will be another step to recognizing my dreams. I have over 28 years of retail experience ranging from face-to-face, telephone and online sales, stock and inventory operation, customer service, management, education and training. Buku is a minority and women-owned micro-cannabis business located in an impact zone in Jersey City that will be operated by myself and my partner, Denise Kelly, Evan Paranti, and Bennett Paranti, who are all here with me today. We have been awarded our New Jersey conditional license for a micro-business dispensary, and we are here today because we would like to open our dispensary in Jersey City. My partner, Bennett Paranti, owns the property in Jersey City at 390 Tonelli Avenue that Buku will be leasing. Bennett Paranti has owned the property since 2018. We plan on doing a total renovation and beautification to the property, which a focus on maintaining and adding more green space to the space with trees and shrubs. We submitted some renderings of what we plan the dispensary to look like. The lot will be able to accommodate 44 parking spaces while allowing trucks to make full turns and provide access for fire truck if needed. I would now like to give you a brief overview of our dispensary. The dispensary will be modern, new, and ADA compliant. We will have 1,700 square feet of retail sales floor space. Inside the dispensary, there will be information that will help to educate the customers on cannabis. There will also be signs and directing customers to our nonprofit partner, C-Line, if they feel they may have or know of someone with a substance abuse problem. The dispensary will have 2 points of ID check. The first point will be before someone enters the dispensary, and the second will be when a customer is making a purchase. All cannabis products will be prepackaged and sealed, so there will be no odors coming from them. We will have charcoal filters in our HVAC system to mitigate any odors coming from our dispensary as well. In addition to our bud tenders being educated in adult use, we will be having special bud tenders who will be trained and certified to give recommendations on strains that may be good for different medical use. Buku feels strongly about educating our staff and customers to make a welcoming, informed, and positive experience for all. We will offer discounts to veterans and current medical cannabis card holders. Now I would like to go over our workforce development plan. As a micro-dispensary, we are required by the state to hire 51% of our employees as local Jersey City resident. But our goal is to hire 100% Jersey City resident from zip code 07306 and 07307, which I believe is possible with our plans and partnership. We will be working with our nonprofit partners, Scores, C-Line, and Hudson Pride for staffing. We are committed to employ justice-involved individuals to make up at least 10% of our workforce. Justice-involved individuals will be referred to us from our partners, Scores Reentry. We will also be accepting resume from Jersey City residents who we are helping with cannabis expungement. Aside from working with our nonprofit partners, from local staffing, we are also in contact with the Jersey City One Step Career Center. I spoke to Tatiana Gonaz, who is the business customer rep at the Career Center. He explained how we can work together by getting our job opening, posting both internally and externally through their network, works, website, and Facebook. We will also do solo positive recruitment, where we go to the Career Center in person to inform candidates of our job opportunities. We have also spoken, oh, sorry, I repeated myself.
No, the other person, you said the name, the different name. You said it was John Toscano.
Sorry, it's John Toscano that we will be speaking to. We have also spoke to, this is where I made a mistake, Tatiana Gonaz, who is the Director of Career Service at Hudson County Community College. She helped us create an account with HCCC, where we will post our job in their online job portal, as well as doing in-person job recruitment on campus. We will host a local job fair at Five Corner Library. We will advertise our job fair and opening in the Jersey Journal, Hudson County News, Jersey City Patch, and other local paper. We will be providing medical benefits to all employees, which life insurance, 401k plan, pay time off, wellness days off, and pay holidays, and time and a half to employees who work holidays. We believe it is important to invest in our employees and will offer tuition assistance with any cannabis certification they may wish to pursue. Our goal is to promote from within and develop employees to a higher position within our company. We will hire people from the local community management position as well. All managers and employees will have 12 hours of training every year. Thank you all for taking the time to hear us today. My partner Denise Kelly will now talk about our partnership in Jersey City and Ward D.
All right, thank you for that. Board members have any questions for Ms. Smith?
Want to note, did the scores guy leave?
Yes.
Yeah, he
Oh.
had
He
to
had to
attend
go
class.
Okay, I got it, okay.
I have a question for you. Is this the existing retail space in the motel, or are you building a new,
It's next to the motel,
next to the motel?
Yes.
And is it going to be new construction, or?
construction.
Well, it's a
Right.
building, existing building that we're completely.
We've
Well,
got to wait till we swear him
Right.
in.
I'll ask that question when you get sworn in.
It's an existing building that's there that we're going to do a renovation to the
Oh,
building.
okay.
So you submitted also your site plan, right? And so it's a very large site that comes, but you're saying you have how many parking spaces?
44 parking space. We could accommodate.
So that structure that's there, that's what you intend to renovate and use that for the business?
Yes.
And then all of that, wow.
All that parking space. will be
Yeah,
there.
it's a lot of
Yes.
parking. Okay, understood. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Anything else from the board members? Hearing none, seeing none. Public, any questions on the testimony thus far? All right, hearing none. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to ask
Go
a
ahead.
couple of things. So, could you go into just a little bit more detail about just your organizations and just your social impact and how you see that?
Well,
Is that what?
Yep.
Okay.
She has all of that to tell you.
Okay. And your part in all of this?
I'm going to be hiring. I'm
Okay.
the person that's going to be hiring everyone from Jersey City.
Okay.
I'm big on hiring minorities.
Okay.
I'm big on hiring people of colors. I want the business to be very diverse.
Great.
And after you're done hiring everybody, what are you going to do?
Probably take a good vacation.
No. Are you going to be there every day?
Yes.
One day a week?
Yes, I will
when-
be there every day. I'm planning on be there every day as much as I can, as often as I can, to help, to train, to educate, to basically develop all the employees that's there and manage the whole dispensary.
All right, fair enough.
Who will be the 24/7 contact?
Evan, my partner here, Evan Peranti.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? All right, hearing none, seeing none. Next witness, if you'd be so kind as to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name slowly, and give us your address.
My full name is Claire Denise Kelly. Last name is Kelly. My address is 334 Fairview Avenue, Long Valley, New Jersey, 07853.
All right, your witness, counselor.
So
she's going to go a little bit more into the actual MOUs that they have signed. I believe they have 3 signed MOUs, and she's going to get more into the hiring specifics and local plans.
Okay.
As you know, my name is Claire Denise Kelly, and I am the manager and CEO of Buku Culture. For the past 27 years, I've co-owned Shooting Star Coaches LLC, which is a movie trailer rental business. We've operated that out of Jersey City for the past 5 years at this location. I've lived in New Jersey for over 16 years, and I received my bachelor degree in psychology in 1985. Since I was able as a young adult, I've helped individuals, families, as well as nonprofit organizations such as soup kitchens, churches, and church thrift stores, volunteering time. Also, I was given a unique opportunity to assist with the funding of an all-women sewing co-op in a small El Salvadorian village where my sister was a missionary. I provided sewing machines and supplies, allowing the women for the first time to create a livelihood for themselves. I would like to tell you now about our community impact and outreach in Jersey City and Ward D. Let me get a little closer here, sorry. We met with our Ward D Councilman Yusuf Saleh. He expressed to us his greatest concern in our ward is the homeless population. One of the issues that we discussed is their limited access to medical care and general health screening. To address this, we came up with the idea of arranging a mobile medical clinic to provide medical care to the homeless, as well as others who are unable to afford medical treatment. We have a large capacity, as indicated. We can fit between 44 and 44 cars in our lot, so we can easily and safely accommodate the mobile medical units, as well as any people who would be gathering for this service. We will post notices at homeless shelters, churches, and other pertinent facilities in advance of each clinic to assure awareness of the clinic. To further assist the homeless population, we will be implementing a roundup and donation feature in our point of sale system. All proceeds will be donated to benefit homeless shelters and other organizations assisting with the homeless population. Councilman Saleh was also concerned about the schools in our ward, so we reached out to Christina McAuliffe School, and I spoke to Principal Barato, and we let him know about our plans to open a dispensary, asked him if he had any questions, concerns, etc. As we discussed in our meeting with Councilman Saleh, we offered to purchase a washer and dryer for the school, which we've been told is often needed for underprivileged kids to get their clothes clean when their parents can't afford it. They did not need this at this time, and I asked him if there's anything else we could do, and he said not at this time. I said, please give us a call in the future, and we will be periodically checking in with him. I also spoke to Monica Shaw from the Deliverance Children's Ministry, which is also located within our ward. She's also the director of the Triangle Park Community Center, which she said was a very recognizable place. And I just spoke to her about our plans to open the dispensary, told her to please feel free to call us if she has any questions or concerns. Buku Culture is also creating a volunteer-based advisory board. We will include counseling on community impact, workforce development, and cannabis education. We plan to meet 2 to 4 times a year to ensure that we are maintaining and exceeding our mission, or maintaining and hopefully exceeding our mission to positively impact our local community. We are hoping Councilman Saleh will join us in our efforts. That's not yet been discussed, but we hope to do that. We think he'd be a great addition. One of our primary goals when choosing our nonprofit partners is the prevention of substance abuse among the youth and adult population. It is also an important goal to effectively assist those who were formerly incarcerated by offering expungement clinics as well as private appointments for those who may not be comfortable in an open clinic setting. By giving them the opportunity to expunge their criminal records, they will be more able to qualify for high-quality employment, thereby becoming a contributing and productive member to our community. We have already entered into an MOU with the Hoffman Center, working with attorney Michael Hoffman to assist individuals with cannabis expungements, as well as hosting expungement clinics in Jersey City. Another MOU is with Scores Reentry, which, as you know, he was here to speak for us but had to leave. Levi was here. The SCORES program assists and supports justice-involved individuals or formerly incarcerated individuals with their reintegration to the community. One of the major contributing factors to recidivism includes a person's social environment and the community that they are introduced to upon release. It's often difficult reacclimating into society and reclaiming a normal life. This many times is a causation for repeat and new offenses, which is one of the primary issues that is addressed. SCORES is an all-women and minority-owned facility managed by Priscilla Carmona, and we've made the commitment to have at least 10% of our workforce consist of justice-involved individuals. We pledge to volunteer a minimum of 15 hours per year. However, as our staffing allows, our broader intention is to do much more, including a $5,000 to $10,000 annual contribution to this organization. And we will notify SCORES reentry of upcoming expungement clinics. Another of our MOUs has been made with Elizabeth Shettle and Hudson Pride Center. Hudson Pride was created in 1993 as an advocacy group and social service provider for both the LGBTQ and HIV/AIDS communities in Hudson County and is the largest LGBTQ social service center in New Jersey. My brother, who is gay, has often faced many challenges due to his sexual orientation, and it has been by the grace of facilities such as this one that were not only instrumental in his happiness, but critical to his very survival as a gay man. I am especially proud to be assisting Hudson Pride, who continues to create real and positive changes within the LGBTQ community. Hudson Pride will conduct an annual sensitivity training program for all Buku culture staff and management to educate about the often marginalized population and create a respectful, humane, and harmonious environment for all staff members as well as our customers. As with all our MOUs, our goal is to volunteer a minimum of 15 hours annually, but again, hope to increase that as time allows with our staffing. In addition, we will also pledge $5,000 to $10,000 annually. It is with much gratitude we are joining with Hudson Pride to help propel their cause. Our next MOU is Sea Line, and Lamar Nelson, who was going to be here tonight to present for us, but because of us being scheduled late, he unfortunately, it just didn't work in his schedule. He was going to be here, so. Sea Line is an outreach program founded by Caroline Nelson in 1999, which is currently operated by her son, Lamar Nelson. Sea Line provides a wide array of support and services, including counseling and support groups, community education, HIV testing and education, minority outreach programs, case management, legal referral assistance, transportation and housing assistance, and most importantly, addiction counseling for both youth and adults. We plan on prominently displaying a QR code in our facility to advertise Sea Line services to any customer who may be in need of counseling for addiction, substance abuse, or any other service offerings. We have also committed to volunteer time as well as an annual contribution of $5,000 to $10,000. Sea Line will also refer anyone who may be interested in applying to Buku Culture for employment, and in addition, we will notify Sea Line as well of our expungement clinics, thereby providing these services to their clients. Lastly, I would like to touch briefly on our security plans. They have been submitted to the Cannabis Control Board. However, due to the confidential nature of our plans, we cannot go into much detail, but we'd be happy to meet out of public forum to discuss and answer any questions you may have. We have engaged Sapphire Risk as our security consultants. Owner Tony Gallo is known as one of the top security vendors for cannabis-related businesses and has helped obtain licenses for applicants in New Jersey as well as nationwide. We will hire a local security firm to provide our on-site armed and unarmed guards for optimal safety and security, and employees will be meticulously trained in security procedures, including armed robbery responses. Evan Peranti, as we indicated, will be our 24/7 contact, and his information will be provided to the City of Jersey City and local police and fire departments. Standard operating procedures have been submitted, and our operating manual will address security training as well as employee personnel training. Signs will be conspicuously posted indicating the prohibition of loitering and on-site consumption. In addition to the signs, a security guard will be regularly patrolling the building and grounds to ensure absolute enforcement of these restrictions. Lastly, we would like to extend our gratitude to the members of the board and graciously acknowledge your personal time for a presentation to be heard. Thank you, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
So if I might, Ms. Kelly, just no pun intended, want to drill down on this. You're going to have dentists and doctors with RVs that are equipped to...
Well, I'm not sure about dentists, but
Well, that's what's
medical-
here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I just read
All right,
dentist?
so do I have the wrong witness to drill down on that?
Sorry. Did I just read dentist? Oh, my goodness, I'm tired. Oh, there.
It's in the
Okay.
plans that were submitted.
Thank you, sorry. You want to take that question?
Can we swear in Ben
Well,
Ferranti?
we can take it in order. It's not a problem. We'll get my question
Okay.
answered at some other point.
Well, I can answer this. Yeah, we're going to have doctors there. I don't know specifically about dentists, but we're going to have doctors there, and it will be a mobile unit that we will have at least 2 to 4 times a year, and it will be in the parking lot, and we're going to advertise it well so that people, obviously, it's going to be difficult to get word to homeless people, so we will do it in the shelters.
Yeah, so Stacy's the director of health for the city, and I can see her stirring. So.
I was like, I've been
Okay.
stirring since you
Okay.
mentioned it.
Okay.
No, just wondering who you're partnering with to do that, because I run a homeless hygiene medical bus across the city that
okay.
provides laundry services, showers, and consults to homeless people, and we are in operation. So I'm just wondering, like, who are you partnering with?
So this would be more medical, and again, if he was handling more of that end of it, so if he can answer.
We
these.
can hold off. Is that all right? Because I had
Yeah.
the same line of questioning. All right. Any other questions for Ms. Kelly before we move on to another witness? Hearing none, seeing none.
I do have, particularly around Sea Line and your partners. So I'm just wondering, because you're going to have a QR code for their services, but I'm to understand their services are not free. So I just want to make sure that if you're going to send people for addiction services, that those services are free.
Okay, so we will indicate whatever the charges are, and we will also include free services in the QR code. So that will all be covered, so.
Anything else? All right, members of the public, questions on the testimony only from Ms. Kelly. Hearing none, seeing none. Next witness.
Can we swear in Bennett, or Evan wants to speak?
They said everything I was going to say, so I don't really have much to say other.
Fair enough. All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name slowly, and give us your address.
My name is Bennett Peronti, Pironti. Let me grab your microphone here. Did you hear that, what I just said? Bennett Peronti, Pironti. Address is 334 Fairview Avenue, Long Valley, New Jersey, 07853.
All right, so why don't we start out with the first question that I had. Dentists and doctors coming in some type of a mobile RV to serve the homeless?
Yes, there's 3 companies here that I've been in contact with. One of them's called Mobile Medical, another Mobile On-Site Clinics, and actually it's down to those 2. But they provide doctors and vehicles like mobile medical clinics for on-site use.
So does it include dentists as well, as you've indicated?
That's
or?
what that was the idea that we had. I'm still looking for a mobile dental clinic. Mm-hmm. But the medical one is something that we already have.
Have you already reached out to those providers and spoken to them? Or is it an internet search?
I've inquired, and it's just a matter of scheduling, really. You just schedule it, and then they come out.
Is it a free service?
No.
Are you, is your
You're going
company
to be
paying for it?
Yes.
Paying for it, yes.
So how many times a year do you intend to do that? I would imagine it's quite expensive.
As many as we can afford. Yeah.
The testimony is 2 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Stacey, did you want to chime in on?
Well, and I'm just, I just want to make sure that they have like the proper, CLIA waivers and,
Oh, sure.
outside of clinic, continuum of care. So when you're starting to serve people, that it's not necessarily like in their framework. So like Tunnelly Avenue isn't necessarily where we work directly with homeless. And so like what the most important piece of this would be sort of networking them with I would recommend the county to make sure that they have access to Medicaid and food stamps and other services so that this one and done or, framework of them waiting to come to free services rather than sort of breaking the cycle of poverty is what sort of our goal is and getting them closer to the locations where they can get service for other programs that they probably are entitled to as per the federal government. So, and before you would like kind of open up a medical clinic on site, you would probably have to come through my office and get regulatory approval.
Sure, absolutely.
I was literally just going to say, if we can refer to you, that would be great. So, okay, yeah.
Would you recommend they do outreach? Are you part of the county homeless shelters as well? Like the
We
division?
are. We are one of many entities in the city. So the other team that does that is programs under the HEDC, which is the Housing Economic Development
Okay.
and Commerce team, in the Division of Community Development that is part of the continuum of care for the county.
Okay, good. So I'm going to make sure that they follow up to coordinate that.
Right.
Because we need city support with that. They're not going to be doing the medical clinics without the proper clearances, approvals, and the right partnerships in place.
It's a great idea, though.
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Before, anywhere. All right, any other testimony, Mr. Peranti, that you would like to provide to the board? Apparently Evan has heard enough, so.
Any questions? I mean,
Do any of you live in Jersey City? I'm sorry.
No, we have a
Actually, gonna be my
business there
question.
right now, which is that property that we own.
Okay.
At 390 Tonley. Been there since December of 2017.
Yeah, so it's not a requirement to live in Jersey City, but my
Right.
concern is how are you the 24/7 contact if you're not in Jersey City? How far away are you from Jersey City?
20 minutes, maybe.
15, 20 minutes.
And we're also foresee having someone, managers.
Into the mic, please.
Living, we also foresee having someone living as close to as possible there. And so we'll coordinate,
Yeah.
So the manager, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the manager that they want to hire is going to be a Jersey City resident. And that when that hire happens, that 24/7 contact will get transitioned over.
All right, then. Anything else?
I have one- So you mentioned earlier armed and unarmed guards in your security plan, but it was just an overview. So you are planning at this location to have armed guards as well?
Yes, correct.
All right, anything else from the board? Public, any questions?
So, as a micro business, you're required to hire Jersey City residents, no? At least 51%.
Yes. And we're planning on hiring
Hiring
100.
100%.
100%.
100% of Jersey City resident. I'm the one who's going to be doing all the hiring for all Jersey City residents.
And your plan is to hire through scores.
Scores, Five Corners, we're going to, job fairs, we're going to do in Jersey City. We're going to take resumes from everyone in Jersey City, anyone who wants to come and work with Buku Culture.
So I'm curious about scores now because they've been mentioned so many times, and it was just very random that he showed up to speak the one time. How did you come across scores? Can you explain that to the board?
Yeah, I actually introduced them, and I think what happened, which is why when he came up, it seems like a lot of people are dropping their names. that might not have actual signed MOUs, just like the former group. They came to my expungement clinic. Those individuals actually came to a clinic I held on Saturday, and they spoke to Priscilla, but they don't have an MOU. So I wonder if they
Yeah,
have.
so I don't want to speak about their application versus your application because we don't do that. MOUs are not required by this board, so you wouldn't have to have an MOU. And the one thing I will say is if someone says something to us that we find to be untrue down the line, you do come in front of this board every year for a renewal. And so if we do find someone to be dishonest or to have told us something that isn't true, it doesn't really, and maybe it helps them on the first go around, but it certainly is not going to help them when it comes for their renewal. So
I met Priscilla actually in this hall that we're sitting in right here, October of 2021. We did an expungement clinic, and I don't know why. I think there's 3 members. They're women-owned. She's a survivor of trafficking. They all work full-time. I think they struggle with grants, and so I don't.
I think Priscilla just started a new company this week, so I'm confused. So I'm just gonna.
Oh, I don't know about
so
that.
that's what she's posting on LinkedIn, but a consulting firm. So and best of luck working with them. But we hear that from a lot of people, and I see the clinics, but I don't know. Like I saw that on social media over the weekend, but I don't know
Just very quickly to clarify the record with respect to micro businesses. So a micro business, if you live in that town, you can apply in that town or a bordering town. If that's not the case, you can have a micro business if you employ 51% of the employees either from the town where the business locates or one of the bordering towns. So although they've represented that they will be hiring from Jersey City, the state doesn't require that. Jersey City or the bordering towns, 51%. All right, anything else from board members? All right, let's open it up to the public for public comment, either for or against the application. You're limited to 3 minutes. Hearing none, seeing none, we're going to close that public portion of the meeting. Did you want to add anything else, Shirali?
No, I guess that, I've been working with this group for, I would say, about 1.5 years now. And I could certainly testify to the fact that Ronnie is really big on education training. Like when I met her, that's all she kept talking about. And so I feel confident about their ability to hire and train good individuals who are local. The plans that they've shared to me about the medical clinics, about C-line counseling, like I wasn't aware of them. I know a lot of individuals have worked with Hudson Pride, for example. So I just feel like they deserve a shot. They've invested in the community by owning the building for the past 5 years. And so hopefully they get this chance. I know this is just one step, but it'd be great if they can get one step further. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, back to the dais for discussion. Motion for, motion against, whatever the case may be.
That's him. Well, in discussion, I will say I always.
Wait, do you want to make a motion to go into a work session?
Yes, I will make a motion to go into a work session.
I always hesitate to do that because that is really just for us, and then we wind up asking questions, and it just becomes open. But, all right, so there's a motion to go into work session. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
So I'm just going to say I always feel confident in voting for an entity that owns the building because I feel like that's like a different level of investment. There's a little bit of part of me that wants a little bit more, but I think I did get the follow-up. I think there's a lot of information in their application so that, well, I do recognize they don't live here. I do believe that owning a building to me is like a next level investment.
Mm-hmm. So what more? What more? What's missing?
I don't know. Maybe it's just like my social impact of wanting more, right? In a different way. But I think having staff volunteer and I guess the 10% means like one person, right? In
Yeah,
micro
but
business.
I mean, that's, everyone says
Yeah.
10%, but in reality of a micro business, that is one person. So a lot of people are hiring one person from Scores.
There's just like a, I don't know, some.
I have a question.
Well,
Ron,
we're in the
Go
work
ahead.
session.
No,
Oh, no, this is a question for Ron.
Okay, oh, yeah. I was going to say you could ask them.
No, this is a question to you. Under what you described earlier on, 51% for a micro business has to be within the community. The owners don't have to live there. But the hiring has to be 51% in the town or the surrounding town.
Bordering towns.
Bordering towns, excuse me.
Difference in surrounding.
Okay. How do the owners of the company, CFO, CEO, do they count as employees or are they excluded from that 51%?
Good question. Owners are not employees, they're owners, okay? So I think it would just be employees, but I could be mistaken.
So,
I'm sorry?
Just employees.
It's just employees.
Wouldn't count them owners.
Yeah, it doesn't count owners but owners sometimes are workers. They're there every day, but that doesn't count, yeah.
Right.
So it would be employees, yeah.
Okay, so they would be hiring 5 employees from Jersey City, or 6.
Six, I
Have to be
guess, right?
6 because
Six.
it's 51%.
Or a bordering town.
Or a bordering town, right.
Correct.
So they could
Well,
hire.
now wait a second. They don't have to hire 10. They may decide they only need 3.
They're not allowed to hire more than 10.
Yeah.
Right.
But whatever that is, that's the number, and it.
51% of that, yeah.
So
Okay.
for them, they could hire from Union City, Weehawk, like, yeah.
Right.
because of where
Bordering.
they're located.
Bordering towns.
Right.
They've testified several times that they intend to hire from Jersey City.
Okay. That clarifies that.
100%.
Anything else in the work session? Deliberation, discussion?
No, I make a motion to close the work session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are back for either.
I'm going to make a motion to approve. I think Stacy is right. Although you don't live in Jersey City, I think owning a building and buying a building is a next level commitment. I think that means you're invested in the city. And so I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Chairperson Bunny,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cantorero.
It's going to take a while.
It's gonna take a while, but aye.
Next meeting. Commissioner Kaplowitz,
Yes, good luck.
Commissioner Sloan. Yes. Commissioner Flanagan.
Yes.
Motion carries. Best of luck. Congratulations.
Thank
Thank you very much.
I think we just have to, in the matter of, so I'm sorry, you guys, can we just finish? You guys are free to go. Congratulations. Thank you. The motion carried, 5-0.
We have to have one more resolution.
Yes, I have it. That's why I asked if we could focus so we can finish.
Let the record reflect that I am temporarily.
Yes, Ron Mondello is recused in the matter of the application of Strictly CBD LLC located at 394 Communipaw Avenue, application CCB 22-30. This was disseminated to the board. We did not receive any comments or feedback. So Maynard, if you want to do the roll call, Stacy, you were absent, and Courtney abstained, so they can't vote on this. So I guess it's just me and Jeff.
Yes.
I vote yes.
I vote yes.
Okay.
All right. Here is this. Back to Maynard.
Can somebody explain what this is?
Yes, that is something that Markia very kindly made for us because we have a new issue, which is the pin in the map that a lot of people have brought up to us. So effectively, when the city established that they were opting into cannabis, you had a period of time where you could either opt in or opt out, and you either had to change your ordinance by a certain date, or if you didn't change your ordinance, you had to abide by the state rules. we formed our CCB wasn't originally going to be 3 people. It was expanded to 5 people. So in the spirit of being a cannabis inclusive city, because we were not a fully formed board, many of the applicants went to the planning board before they came here because we did not want to leave people in limbo while we were waiting to form the board. So as a result, there were some people who went to the planning board, then they came to us, then they got municipal approval. The issue with that now is, and Maynard has been on many phone calls with me about this, so he can chime in and explain it better, as can Ron. But basically, once you receive CCB approval, planning board approval, and city council approval, the law department and the city's position is that has therefore established a pin in the map, which triggers the distance requirement.
And
I'm sorry, Courtney, it's so rude. Yeah, but you guys ask a question and then I'm answering it, and you constantly say I don't inform you. So I'm answering the question and you're having a sidebar conversation. So okay, well, the city's position is once you have received the 3 levels of approval, there is a pin in the map, which if you read the ordinance, that triggers the distance requirement. That being said, this board is only supposed to evaluate distance. We are not the arbiter of that. That is the planning board. And then there's a whole nother layer to this where one person may get one, but then another gets grandfathered in as a non-conforming use. So, Ron, do you want to explain?
This is exactly right. And we will always hear applications because there may be someone who wants to go to the zoning board.
Or there may be someone who never opens. Like the pin in the map is there, but let's say they don't get the funding they need to open the business, or something happens and that business doesn't ever become an actual viable business. So the board has taken the position that we will continue to hear applications because you can't go to the planning board anymore unless you come to the CCB. So now everything has to come here first, then they go to the planning board. They cannot get on the council agenda until they've gone through these 2 boards.
All right, so basically, this is just putting on, there's a pin in the map, and we have a couple applications that will be questioned later on.
For example, in the first application we heard today, there are technically 2 less than 600 feet away, so there are 2 pins in the map. So it is also for us to be able to state to the applicant that while we are not the arbiter, we're not going out and measuring 600 feet. That's not our job. Our job is to make a recommendation based on the application and the substance of the application. But this is also so we can say to the applicant, just so you're aware, there are 2 other locations near yours that have a pin in the map as far as the city's perspective is concerned.
And one of the criteria that the board could use is, wow, there are 3 of these close to each other. Now, that shouldn't be the sole reason for you denying the support, but it could be one brick in the wall. If you found other things and said, and by the way, in addition to these other things that we have some issues about, this area is getting too crowded, and it's well within the board's authority to say, not going to get our support.
Isn't that really for us? That really is,
It is, because the ordinance.
So the ordinance states that the board will consider the following factors in its determination to approve or deny your application. The second item is the number of cannabis establishments within close proximity less than 1,000 feet to the applicant. Just because a cannabis establishment is less than 1,000 feet from your application is not necessarily a negative factor. Each application must be evaluated on the totality of factors and the surrounding neighborhood.
So, Courtney, to your point, if that was the only thing, I don't think you probably, if you loved everything else and that was the only thing, I don't think that would really be grounds to deny it. Let the planning board or zoning board or the council take care of that. But it's certainly one of the bricks in the wall that you can consider amongst many others.
So when you're putting a pin in the map, they still have to go to the state and go from conditional to transition, and then come back to
this board.
To this board. So at somewhere in that equation, there's still a possibility that they may get knocked out.
In fact, there are
So this board is an advisory board. We are not the final
I understand
say. So they could go to us and let's say a particular council member feels there are too many in their ward or their area, the council could vote no, and the application can't advance. Now, the council could vote yes, and they get their conditional, they go to an annual, and they come here, and if something went awry between the time they were here or in the middle, it could potentially be denied here at this board.
There are some estimates, and they may even be conservative, that 70% of the conditional licenses are going to fall off of a cliff.
I don't
No
know.
funding, no property.
Right.
You don't have the support from the governing body. Who knows?
So that's what's happening here also, is people are rushing to apply to the state, and then they're doing everything as quickly as possible in hopes to get one of these licenses, and then I know of businesses that have come in front of us already that are having a hard time securing the funding. So
Not surprised.
when we met with the law department, we made the decision that we would hear all applications, because everybody deserves due process, and this is one step. So that was what the law department felt. Maynard was on that call. I don't know if you have anything to add, Maynard?
The only thing I'd like to add is that what we tried to include in this distance report is the dates that they receive city council approval, because what I think is important is to pay attention to if the date that the application was submitted after the city council approved, those should be looked at a little differently because we've kind of put the pin in the map. So that's what you just have to be very mindful of. I mean,
We're just saying like due diligence on the part of the applicant, like we saw one application say, I know, well, give me a few weeks and I'll come back to you.
correct.
So they probably also are seeing like this might be a little bit more of a competitive process at everyone else that knows, and they really, really want that block, I don't know.
And that's actually the reason that we started to map, include a map that has all the applications that have the pin in the map. We have that online, so they were able to see the locations of those businesses.
Maynard, can you share with us the link to this map?
Sure.
Thank you.
So on that map, it's the pinned applications and applications that are complete to go in front of the board.
It's the pin that receives city council approval.
Right.
And it's also a separate list of all the businesses that this board has approved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it only includes the address. It doesn't include the business name, because that's still a pending application.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What is the total number?
I would have to look.
Yeah, do we have a registry of that?
Well, a registry of
It was
all
27
pending-
in October.
With the map, right? When you presented the first map, I
Could
think
you-
it was.
I don't present a
Turn the
map.
mic.
Maynard's office updates the map.
Speaking with Maynard. Let me go back. I wasn't speaking with you, Chair. I was speaking with Maynard, actually. So I was just asking, when you came forward with that last map, I think that was only reflecting what we had approved to that date. But there were others that had been approved that were not on.
No, the map, the pin in the map happens after they've gone through this board, planning board, as well as city council. And it's updated after every city council meeting. So all three were, at that point, they were able to take it to the state to get approved. Yeah, and it's
we
updated
saw,
constantly.
okay.
Like after today, we'll update the list and we make sure it's on the city's website.
Okay. Maybe to date, then, how many do you think?
There were 27 in October, so I would imagine we're probably we're under 40. We're somewhere between 30 and 40.
But that's just the board. has
That's board
approved.
approvals,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
That doesn't,
Include,
It doesn't
whatever
include city
else is
council. I
coming.
think the city council approval is possibly 15.
yeah, the city council is way behind us in terms of approving applications. But the issue is that there's only one planning board meets once per month or twice?
Twice.
Twice. We meet once per month and the city council meets twice per month. So if you don't get on agendas, you only have a certain amount of time. And I mean, I guess that would bring us to our next topic.
Yes.
You had mentioned that maybe we need to add meetings or,
She
Yes, please.
Yes.
Have a seat.
You can have any microphone you want.
Okay, so I just wanted to put a request on record for the board to consider. Considering the Division of Commerce is essentially the point of contact with all the applicants, I have recently been bombarded with many requests by applicants to be placed on the agenda due to expiring of many of their estate licenses, right? So obviously a lot of them applied back in March. We're about to be March again, so a lot of them are expiring. We already talked about them getting extensions, and they've done that. So I'm proposing a few options and possible solutions for what appears to be a problem arising. One, adding more applications to the next meeting, possibly. Two, adding more meetings to maybe February and March. I'm currently booked out till April. So as of right now, the people who have completed their application in December are not going to be seen by you until April. There's people that's not going to be seen until April.
So, Markia, my preference, because I think after hearing 4, it starts to get long.
Okay.
So I would rather add additional dates than stay very late. But Maynard, I mean, it's you and your staff, so that's my primary concern. What do you guys prefer?
Whatever she prefers.
I prefer. I prefer
I've been married before.
to add additional dates. This is what we were going back and forth with because I believe that our
sensible
process, the CCB, is the longest process out of all 3 processes,
Mm-hmm.
and that's because why? It takes a whole month before you guys memorialize, and it's just taking them longer to get to planning and then to city council. So I believe, even if it's temporary, if we can add a couple of more meeting dates between February and March, hopefully, we can squeeze something in there that we can kind of catch up.
Yeah, I don't have a problem adding
It's
meetings.
really just one, maybe just one extra meeting. I'm sorry.
We can add 2 if we need to. I don't mind adding additional meetings. I don't mind coming for additional meetings. We just have to make sure that other board members are willing to commit to that because it's additional time. But I do feel very strongly that more than 4 in a night becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's a lot of reading to do over 2 weeks. And depending on how many people oppose or like we haven't had long ones lately, but the one that went till almost midnight was a bit much.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, what we'll do is we'll propose some
Yes,
dates.
ma'am, you are free to leave.
Well, that's the other side of it. is you can't-
7:30, yeah, go, run away as fast as you can.
Question, and I agree that,
Thank you.
anything more than 4 applications becomes, the last 2 applications don't get the same, attention. Extra meetings definitely make sense. How many applications are sitting in your office?
I don't want to answer for you, but I will say we are one of the few municipalities in the state that don't have a cap. And so a lot of people continue to try to find a location in Jersey City.
I'm
Give me a ballpark.
constantly getting, currently I may have about right now, maybe like 6 or 7 that's still.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Like I'm waiting for documents and things like that. So they could be finished at any given time. I just got one the other day that I haven't even started yet. So like, it's just constant,
So Markia, that's like 17, right? Because you have 2 agendas. Basically, we're booked through April, so that's 8. And
So,
you're saying
yes.
you have like another 7.
Well, it's more than 8. It's you figure it's February,
have
March,
February,
April.
March.
Oh,
and then now
okay.
we're
So wait,
in-
I'm sorry. So you have 12 already.
Not 12. I have 9 so far. So I have 4 in February, 4 in March, and I have 1 already in April.
And then you have another 6 or 7 that you're waiting on missing pieces. So around 20 roughly.
Yeah.
And you continue, well, you expressed to me, you guys continue to get calls daily about the application process.
Absolutely.
And it's also you have to keep in mind, it's also very competitive with the locations, right? So we have locations that are aware of a business that's coming on West Side Avenue and they're requesting to be on an earlier meeting. And we basically tell them they have to go in order of completion to make it fair for everyone.
Right. And just a clarification. Do they have to wait before going to the planning board till we memorialize
Yes.
our
Yes, they can't do
resolution?
anything until we memorialize the resolutions.
So I may have a solution for that, if it's okay with the board.
Go ahead.
I will draft resolutions for that night, assuming that there's an approval. I won't do it if there's a denial. It takes a lot longer, but I can have sort of pro forma resolutions ready for the board if they're so inclined and there's no objection. It can be memorialized right after you approve it.
That's what they do in the planning board.
Hold on one sec. If you're waiting to talk to the board members, we're not supposed to talk to applicants outside of the meeting. So if you're looking for the health department's information,
Yeah, I can't.
go to the city website.
I don't even handle it myself.
Yeah,
anyways.
you would not speak to Stacy directly. She's not allowed to discuss. But I see you waiting, and I'm sure you want to go home too. So yes, it's just jerseycity.gov.
JCNJ.org.
MARQUIEA.
JCNJ.org.
Why did I say .gov?
JCNJ.org, and then you would
Hey,
find
Ron?
health departments.
Yeah, and
Ron, do I need to keep recording?
no.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a
Oh,
public
yeah.
meeting.
Yes, but not. She's free to go.
Yes.
So
Okay,
so I just have a quick kind of point of kind of procedure for Ron. If what I'm to assume is if we have a meeting, let's say in 2 weeks' time,
We have one in 2
right,
weeks.
yeah, which is
February.
the memorialization of those. Then, how soon does that person or company able to get onto the planning board agenda? Like, I know how long it takes to get on the city council agenda. I'm just not aware how long things take to get on the planning board agenda.
That's up to the
It
planning
depends
staff.
on the
I mean,
planning.
there's a lot,
Yeah,
the problem with the
that we don't
difference
know,
between
but
us and the planning
they,
board is.
they do hear a lot of applications. Though.
And they
Right.
go until, I
2
believe,
weeks.
Right.
And
11?
they go
Okay.
every 2
Okay.
weeks.
But
Stacy.
before they get to the agenda, they have to have, everybody, there's 10 agencies, all the departments have to like chime in before it gets to the planning board meeting.
So example is we memorialized 6 resolutions this evening. And how long? Because now I don't know when the planning board meetings are. They probably won't get on a planning board meeting until the middle of February,
I'm guessing.
maybe end of February, which means they're not going to get on a council agenda until like the end of March.
but there's nothing we can do to
No, there's
control
nothing. I
that.
know. I understand that. So I do think like a meeting every 2 weeks for right now to get that turnover, because I know how.
Right, but we have to have 3 people committed to being here.
I'll send out proposed dates.
And
the room
Maynard
has
and
to be
his staff
available.
have to be willing to facilitate this because it's a lot of work for them.
Yeah. And I would just say
And-
that's where it becomes difficult because our, like the city is closed on February 13th and February 20th.
I didn't realize
That's actually why we have the
Yeah,
meeting
because
earlier,
that's
yes.
our union holiday on behalf of Abraham Lincoln and then President's Day on the 20th.
Does it have to be a Monday?
It doesn't have to
No,
be.
our meeting's
Okay.
on the 6th. No
Yeah.
meeting on the 13th. The city's closed. So
Yes.
when the city is closed, we cannot have these meetings.
Correct.
Because the staff some of them are union and we can't make people come in and work on city holidays. So the meeting on the 13th has been moved to February 6th.
Yes.
Yes, we had to move this month's meeting because of a city holiday, and we had to move next month's
Correct.
meeting because of a city holiday. However, we don't only have to meet on Mondays. We could meet on other days of the week as long as we have a committed quorum and this room is available. So we've agreed we would do additional meetings. We've suggested every 2 weeks, which is sort of impossible with the month of February. But Marquia and Maynard will send us dates. We'll confirm that we have 3 people and Ron, most importantly, because we need the attorney. And then we can decide what dates work for at least 3 of us, plus Ron, Maynard, and the room.
You could have another meeting in, the week of the 20th in February. We can
Right,
squeeze
but I'm saying this room has to be available. So there are other city functions that meet in this room. The ABC board meets in here. The Women's Advisory Board uses this room.
use another.
I also have to advertise it, so.
We have to comply with the sunshine laws, which
I
is 2
understand.
weeks.
But is this the only location that we have to meet
This-
in, or is there, or we can find another location, a city location? Right, or is there statutory to be in one location?
No, but I think
It's
if it
not,
starts
but-
at
We
5
can
for
advertise,
the
but
2
it's
of
not-
them. To
But
be-
it's
Not very easy.
It's not that
pick another
easy, and the
location.
only other place, it has to be a place that could hold enough people, have the recording equipment. So it's basically here are the council chambers. And the whole reason that we moved the meetings over here was to be more accessible and so that it's not downtown. It's in a different part of the city because everyone says everything is downtown. So
Correct.
our preference is to hold the meetings in the same location, which is here.
We'll propose some dates by tomorrow, so then we'll see exactly where we stand.
So can I just ask is anyone even open to considering to do to do 5? I hear what you're saying about the 4.
It's tough.
I do agree.
It's
But
No.
I think that night we tried to do 6.
and
Correct.
right now,
The night of when we were here till midnight.
I
think we
don't,
did 6.
I mean, I
Right,
I agree with
tonight-
Courtney.
No,
I
of course.
just wonder because like right now, it's 7:30 and we've been talking for about
We only
20
had 3
minutes. But we
applications.
only had 3. This is
Correct.
true.
We had-
But we then had also 6 other things. That we
and that was a
simply-
disaster.
Exactly. So I'm just asking. I mean, that's why it's a conversation, Brittany,
Right.
with multiple people in the room.
Yes, and I was going to
with the
express
ability-
my opinion. I heard yours
I
respectfully.
get that.
And
And actually,
yes, Jose, please share your.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm new here. It's my first evening here. So I think I can leave it to you to decide because you've had many more meetings than I have. But I can tell you that, we have a full-time job throughout the day. So I think 4 is probably, based on what you said earlier, is a good number.
well, you looked
know?
at all the meetings since June.
I did, and they were like 2, 3, 4 hours long. But looking at them and actually sitting here and paying attention to everything that an applicant says and looking everything over is different than just looking at a YouTube video. So I do think that because we have, our regular jobs throughout the day, I think 4 is probably good.
My concern, Jose, and you have the same unique experience. Well, the experience that I have now is you worked as a council aide. So the night that we tried to do 6 was you can't plan for these meetings because if there's opposition, they're going to go longer. So recently we've had no opposition, but it could change. So if 10 people come to speak against something, or 10 people come to speak against several applications, that adds already an hour to the meeting because they each get 3, that's a half an hour to the meeting. So I don't think that you can plan for beyond 4 because the night that we said, we could do this, the last meeting was really short and we added the 2 additional. We were here until midnight. People were tired. They were cranky. After the fact, they admitted they were tired and cranky and it was too much for one night. So I feel like 4 is good. I think it's manageable. Even if it gets out of hand, that should get us out of here before 10.
It's whatever the board desires from my end.
I vote for more meetings. That's been my view. Please.
Again, I think it's more efficient.
Yeah, I agree.
That, planning board's a lot different in how they function and the information that they get, and they knock out a lot. I don't disagree with that. This is a lot more subjective in everything that we hear versus the planning board. So, and you're right. We've been lucky. I think most of the opposition was the fear factor in the beginning about having cannabis in the city. I think people have realized after numerous readings of the beginning clause that this is not the place to fight. It's really the fight's at the council.
Well, Frank Falchicchio hasn't been here in a long time, so.
Well, yeah.
Oh, and Lorenzo too, so I think they got the memo.
No, but Frank only cared about his one block, and once we heard it, he
went
on his merry way.
I've
So
seen
it
him at the
sound-
council meetings, so.
So it sounds like there's a motion to add a second meeting every month.
I support Marquia, and I would like to make a motion to add a second meeting for the months of February and March, and then we can evaluate after February and March.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. So, but the ayes have it. There's going to be a meeting added for February and March.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Marquia. Thank you for everything you do.
Yes.
Yeah, I tell you. No,
No,
I think we're done, right?
To adjourn.
I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.